that might have looked like I don't want to say a mistake, but that is definitely not the place you want to find yourself when you're picking the side on your map.
Yeah, and I mean, this operator play from Abel has just been looking so crisp, and Munoz, he's been trying to replicate it, but he just hasn't been having the same success. Abel's been ever consistent on the shots. The first play that comes out is usually the first player that he takes down in the round, and so I like the way that SAC State is playing off each other so well. Their coaching staff must have done a good job out teaching him some of these opening strategies, and we'll see if they have anything special lined up for us on the attacker side. Similarly stated, though, maybe Wayne State, the reason they chose this map is because their defender side is out of this world, and so if there's a time to prove it, it's going to be in this pistol round. Losing this will probably mean the game if Wayne State can't put it together, and so I would hope to see this go the way of Wayne State because I like me some competitive games.
Yeah, I definitely do want to see Wayne State step it up a little bit. They have been struggling. Abel sitting in the smoke waiting, finds BB, takes him out for the opening frag of the second half, and now the push comes in onto the A site. They are fairly clear. Zobi's gonna get caught though. Munoz trades onto Abel, one up in heaven, but that's gonna be a decent position that they can try to get a spike down. They do have to be careful over in tree. Krolos finds Viking, some trades back and forth. Nas through the smoke will take down Munoz. His critical Raven was on the flank again. They're in tree now coming up through window. But in this 2v1 in heaven, don't know if this is the position you want to be in, and the reload catches critical Raven off guard as Nas will secure his 19th kill and the 10th round here on the side of Sacramento State.
And this has to be one of the most aggressive Omen players I have ever seen. Usually Omen is one of those agents that is more reserved in his playstyle. You want to use those smokes to the best of your ability, stall out the retakes, but Nas is hitting exactly that. He's hitting the Nos on his car. He's in 5th gear right now, and he can't seem to stop himself. And it's working out. 19 and 6, posting up 19 kills on an Omen pick on Ascent. 10 rounds in. That is not something you see often in any level of play, especially one this high. And so all credits, hats off to Nos. He's having one hell of a game for himself so far. As we see another hit, this time on the B site. This one's crucial. I do believe the side of Wayne State did buy up here. They want to be able to secure this round.
It would be massive if they can hit that 11 round mark. Try to make sure that they can really snuff out any hopes of Wayne State surviving this first map and then moving on to their own map. You know, it's like Sacramento State came in and said, all right, you got us in the first half, not gonna lie. You got us the first time around. We're back for vengeance, and we're gonna make sure that you earn it. And right now, losing on their own map does not look good for Wayne State. Really need to find somebody to step up for the team. Find a way to make this happen. As Psycho will get the spike planted down. It is a 4v4. Low HP bars on both sides. Does mean this is going to be a scary engagement from either team.
Is that 1 HP for Silver right now? How is he alive right now? This man is on life support. How is he standing?
Oh, Krolos with the patience is going to be able to get that kill out of Munoz. That is some trigger discipline right there from Krolos, and that might have secured them the round.
Look at the HP bars right now. Everyone is on the sliver. There's only one player. It's Viking to actually have over half of his HP still available, and it's down to a 1v1.
Yeah, but this spike, it is ticking away. Viking is not going to be able to get the defuse at all. And that is going to be the 11th round here picked up for Sacramento State. Viking will fall as well. And, I mean, the trigger discipline was huge coming in from Krolos to make sure to take down Munoz, who was full HP, and help try to secure that round. And so many people at such low HP from those early gunfights. It is insane to see that they survive that long into the round and stall out so much for the spike to explode and secure them the round.
That was mind-boggling. There was 4 members alive with a combined maybe 30 HP at most. I don't think I've ever seen a situation like that before, and they managed to hold on. That is insane to see, and some criticism has to go over to SAC State. They took so long to get back onto the site where they had a lot of HP bars that were much more healthy. I suppose they wanted to get all their utility out before they actually went for the retake, but that's going to cost them valuable time that would have been able to secure them the round. As I say that though, quick hit onto the B site. Everyone is just flooding in.
Yeah, trying to take this with force. They do finally get a decent position here, but they know that there's a couple there up in market. Krolos is going to get the plant. This is going to be very, very tough for the retake, but Zobi going to start it out on the retake pretty strong with that Spectre to pick up a kill. Hot Hands came out to try to force someone away, but nobody's hiding behind that box. Finally sees one there in boat. And it's just going to be very, very difficult. Munoz dives in with the help of BB1. They do pick up that kill, and now got to try to retake the actual site. Munoz finds up and just some trades back and forth. Critical Raven will actually find some big frag and should be able to get this defuse to finally put another round up on the board. It'll be 11-4 here for Wayne State. They really desperately need to step up this half and try to force overtime, try to find a way to stay in this match.
Yeah, and Wayne State calling them out a little bit there. They've gotten a bit more used to SAC State's tricks. They sniff out the player waiting B main, all these lurkers sitting in smokes, things like that. Not going to be fooling them this time around. They sweep every angle, making sure no cheesy tactics going on here. And they're able to retake with conviction. 3 players surviving. That's not easy. That's not an easy thing to do, especially when you go into that retake a man down. Only 4 players on the board. What is this?
That is an interesting dart. That is a delayed shock dart combined with a second shock dart to take down Krolos. That is some next level Sova play from Viking. That man is a menace to society right now with that dart setup.
This man pulling out the PhD. Right, his geometrics are looking flawless. How does he line that up? How much time do you have to spend in the practice tool to make that happen? He must have been watching a lot of TikToks. I know they put a lot of different arrow combinations on there. I'm not sure where he's been getting his info, but I need his dealer because, man, that was a wild lineup. Never seen it before. Trippy gets another. Oh, he'll get the opening for his team. Sova and Sova both with 1 kill apiece as we see the 4v4 heading into the tree room, and it's Speedy. Zobi already trying to hold them off with the hot hands, but he's not their target. He doesn't want anything to do with them. They're running right past him, right into the meat grinder of BB.
Yeah, BB1 finds 2 before he finally gets taken down by Trippy, but it's just Trippy left standing with the Sheriff. We'll try to get a little bit of information with the dart and knows that that side is clear, but Zobi just able to secure that round to take down Trippy, make sure that he can't get any more crazy shots, crazy arrows coming in. But that is still just a disgusting thought of the double arrow setup. And now you really have to be careful trying to push it onto the B site because you know that Viking can do that. Now you know that Viking has this delayed double arrow setup that's going to make taking B a little bit more difficult to do. And you can already see everyone piling over towards the A site. They want nothing to do with these Sova shock darts.
Yeah, Viking, he's just giving them different things to worry about every round. You can never feel safe in your footing. As soon as you hear that shock dart come out, suddenly your heart starts beating out just a little bit faster. As we see Abel, he is taking an aggressive stance very far forward. 2 players watching the smoke. They're keen as to what could be going on right now, as there's not a lot of noise going out at any other portion of the map. Krolos also taking some space for them. I like this default setup. They're kind of squeezing in onto Wayne State right now, and they can slowly start to work up any different part of the map because they've taken so much early space for themselves.
Yeah, but they know that they haven't really been able to see the Killjoy. They've got to assume one of these sites has all the Killjoy utility and the turret is triggered. That means that they know the Killjoy utility is used over on B. Do we already see the rotations coming in through Cat and through A short through lobby there? Zobi is going to get taken down by Nas, and that's going to be the A site opening up. They still do have to contend with 2 members here as BB will fall. Munoz, though, finds a snipe onto Nas, but it's not going to stop this fight going down. The Cypher ult comes out, and they'll see the rotations coming in. Viking will find Krolos as tries the operator shot through the floor, tried to find something, but a nice Killjoy ultimate will come in and try to slow or stop things down and give them the opportunity to push in. Critical Raven finds Nas. Viking gets the kill as well. The one player is detained. That should be the round there. Sitting in wine.
Good night.
Abel will fall, and finally, we're starting to see some signs of life from Wayne State. They've picked up a few rounds here, and they've started to make a name for themselves. They've started to put some rounds up on the board.
And I love that Killjoy ultimate to get back on site. It was so difficult for them to actually be able to get off of that safely. When there's an operator sitting up top, they can catch you. And when Munoz can catch you if you're trying to flood back to A main, if they go tree, 2 players waiting that time. And that's the choice they ended up going for. They wanted to try and forcefully push into tree. Doesn't work out, as we see a quick timeout coming on this time, coming out at the moment. I believe that was the side of SAC State using that one. I believe they're using attack timeout. They want to be able to reshuffle, maybe get some strategies going to ensure that they can try and bring this to a 12th round, because once you're on that round 12, you feel such a weight off of your shoulders knowing that there's no possibility that you could at least lose the regular time. You have to go to overtime at the very least, and you just have so many opportunities to close out the game at that point. And I'm sure after all the different after all the rounds that Wayne State has suddenly come up with, they have to rethink themselves just a little. It's very easy to have strategy when you're steamrolling through the game. It's very easy to feel like you're playing it perfectly, but as soon as the rounds start to fall apart a little bit, you might want to reassemble, get your mental reset.
This is going to be a good tactical pause just to make sure that, like you said, they can reset. They can just try to get their heads back into the game. They've lost quite a few rounds in a row here, and even the rounds they've won have been fairly close. It is not going to be the easiest of hills to climb. It's not going to be the hardest either, but they've got to make sure that they stop the skid, that they stop Wayne State from continuing to push in and pick up round after round after round. They need to try to use this round. They will be on the pistol. They will be on the econ. Need to try to take a gun or two out of the hands of Wayne State, do some economic damage, and try to force them to make something happen. Try to force Wayne State to make a mistake as we do get ourselves back into the game. And another, Viking was looking for that little sketchy arrow. This didn't find anything. That is a great dart. Finds a bit of information there. Knows that they're more heading towards the B site, or at least more over closer to that area. The owl drone will find at least 1, maybe 2, so they know mid has been taken, but they don't really know any positioning right now as bunches of smokes are coming out across the map. And just a little bit of it's not hesitation. It is kind of a little bit of control here, just to make sure that they can delay a little bit, or try to find this opening pick for Sac State, because otherwise, you cannot face down Wayne State with the superior gun power they have right now.
Yeah, and I like that Viking isn't really taking a fight early on. He doesn't want to risk giving over a rifle. He's not really interested in playing a bit of aim duel. He'd rather just line up some arrows, hopefully get some chip damage, and force them to walk into a crossfire on site. As we see 2 players already holding the angles. They're willing to give up tree at the moment, but as I say that, the operator being committed, Munoz will find the first pick through the glass as they flood onto the site.
Yep, Psycho will end up falling. Munoz can't find that second one as Nas will get the trade. Abel finds Zobi as well, and that is massive. Again, economic damage coming in, forcing out the guns. They might be able to pick them up as well as Viking found Krolos. Here comes the plant, and now they've got themselves a little bit of time, but it's a 2v3. They have 1 gun, and they have a sheriff. Abel, though, says, all I need is this Phantom. Takes down the operator. It will get picked up, but that's going to be so difficult for them to be able to find anything. Blind comes out for just a moment, forcing Abel to relocate. Relocate will help him out. Reload, though, cost him the round. BB1 will secure a triple on his own to secure the 7th round.
Abel is terrifying. The moment he picked up a rifle, suddenly I started having doubts. I started having doubts about the retake, and when his teammates started chiming in with even more, I began to get more and more worried for the side of Wayne State, who actually get up to 7 rounds. Suddenly, this is looking competitive. What happened so far this half? Is this just the ultimate attacker-sided map?
I mean, this is typically a much more even map than what we're seeing here right now. Usually, you can see a lot of halves will go, 7-5, will go maybe 8-4, but they're usually fairly more even at this point. It's surprising to see that both sides attacking have really been able to build up so many rounds as they have been. Which the Odin through the wall with that wall penetration. Viking finds one. Now Trippy gets the return kill over in mid. So it does look like they find something. The blind, but Abel not blinded enough. He will be able to find Zobi hanging around that corner, moving up just a bit too quickly.
And the curveball goes right past Abel. He gets blinded for just a moment, but the spray is good, and Phoenix just gets caught with better timing. Munoz still in this tight angle. He wasn't expecting it. It's a freebie.
Yeah, freely found Psycho, like you said, but that dart does come out. They know that Munoz is still here in tree. Door has not come down just yet. So they might be looking, they might want to try to do that or see what they can do. As Viking finds Nas with that Odin, the wall penetration coming in clutch for Viking. He will end up falling to Abel though, and that's huge. Taking a big gun out of the hands. Munoz finds Abel on the trade. And the Guardian from the back by Critical Raven. All of a sudden, we were talking in the first half that Wayne State needed to find something in this half. They needed to step up, and they've got some big players who are absolutely stepping up to the plate and making sure that this is going to be their map on their pick.
I never doubted them. I had full faith that they were going to win this map. I was rooting from the whole time. Good stuff, guys. But seriously, and it comes down oftentimes to clutches. When it comes to these high-pressure situations, it seems like Wayne State is thriving. And so many of their rounds this half have been retakes. Rather than the other half, we saw Wayne State not even able to get onto the site. They were getting picked apart before they could even get the bomb down. And so, very different methods of winning for both teams. But it is working out so far as Viking going to try and dodge this drone. We'll get tagged there. Now everyone's swarming in. He doesn't have enough time to line up that arrow.
Yeah, Abel, with that information, immediately hunts down the Odin user. Now, I do like this play to try to bust down the wall and keep the smokes up so you can at least keep a little bit of positioning, get yourself to be able to move around. They've really taken control over B for now, but Munoz in an interesting position here. Gonna get B flanking with the operator, but that's not where you want to be. Trippy finds him and takes him out and gets the shot on the Critical Raven as well, and that is the B site taken here. And that might be all they needed to secure match point as Sacramento State move onto the B site.
And maybe this is what SAC State needs. Maybe SAC State can't really hold up to these retakes, so just kill them before you get the bomb plant down. Simple. Right, guys? Forehead. Easy peasy. Just kill them all. That's the strategy right now for SAC State, and it's working wonders. 12-8. They finally get on match point after so long and so much work that Wayne State has been using to claw themselves back into this game. Suddenly, they're one round away from dropping the map regardless.
Yeah, they desperately needed to make sure that they could get on match point. They needed that round win as well to stabilize their own economy. They forced out Wayne State. Wayne State can have this bye, but it's one of those where even if Wayne State wins and loses multiple people, it's going to be a very, very difficult rebuy. That dart won't find any information, so he'll back off and not look for the wall spam again. Smart play coming in. Once again, we're seeing the teams actually adapt to plays made by both sides. You see that the double dart come out, they're hesitating, but the double kill. Yeah, BB and Munoz across the map finding kills. That is going to make it very difficult for Sac State to pick up the round.
Yeah, the reaction times out of Munoz was so impressive there. He goes out of market door, gives himself maybe a half second to peek, pulls the trigger, gets the leg shot, and Psycho, you're not going to get across mid for free. Not when you got Munoz posted up. And as I say that, finally, He goes down in the second kill. Whoa, this round suddenly swinging back.
Still a little bit difficult. Yeah, now 2v3 though. They've got the opportunity. They've got a chance to try to make something happen as the rotations are coming into B. But they're still hanging around close to the A site to try to get back onto the site just in case.
And like you said, if they drop too many guns this round, that's bad news bears for the side of Wayne State. They need to make sure they can make this round as clean as possible so that they don't end up hurting their economy after winning.
Yeah, they really need to push this. 15 seconds left. They're going to throw the door down. Viking is going to finally be able to get a little bit of information, but he doesn't really see anybody. The spike does get planted. He finally does get some kind of information, but has to back off. Can't hit anybody. Nobody's hanging around underneath. They know Viking has the Odin. You don't want to sit in a wall that he can shoot through. Carlos in a very, very tough angle. Can he get this kill first? The turret is up. Yeah, turret doesn't see him, though. He might be able to get this. No, he cannot. Critical Raven secures it. That's going to end up being the 9th round picked up for Wayne State. But they lose a couple of guns. It's going to be a little damaging to their economy. The problem is Sac State have no economy of their own.
And they are able to recover the operators, so big money saved there. They should be able to string together a buy so long as some of the players that survived this round buy up for their teammates. And so, yeah, like we said before, they can't be losing too many members. If they lost one more, they could be at danger of not being able to buy this round, but they cleaned it up, and now everyone should be able to get themselves a rifle in their hands for the 10th round potentially for Wayne State. And I mean, it is still within 3 rounds. 3 rounds in a row, and we get brought to overtime. And so the hope for Wayne State has not been diminished just yet. But this is what we were talking about the first half. Wayne State's room for error is non-existent. They've only lost 2 rounds this half. If it sounds like we've been praising Wayne State non-stop this half, it's because we have. They've been winning most of their rounds. They've been playing extremely well, but because they had such a disastrous first half, it simply doesn't take much for Sac State to pull this one through.
Trippy's looking for a weird angle dart. He might be waiting.
Maybe he likes ice cream.
Maybe he does like that gelato. We've seen some really interesting darts coming out from both sides and very good Sova play. Delayed shock darts, delayed sonic darts to try to find information. Looks like this sonic dart just might go through, and they are waiting. They are going to be working together. Rolling Thunder comes in, and here comes the Ultimates. They are pushing it onto this A site. They don't want to wait at all, but they're pushing it as 4. They do have 1 member off of the side. Abel's gonna pick up the first kill with a knife in return for Munoz. Krolos, though, with the flank finds 2. Trippy finds another one, and this could be the map. 4 versus 1. It's all up to the Viking with this Odin. Can he find anybody? Even trying to even even out the odds can help out. He will find one, but switches to the knife at the last second. Abel shoots him with his own dagger, and all of a sudden, we have Sacramento State winning on Wayne State's map going into their own selection. Tristan, this is massive. Sacramento State really want to turn this around and say that 2-1 was a fluke. We're going to 2-0 you in playoffs.
I love it. I love it. I love the way they play as a team. I mean, as much as I'd like to praise Sac State for just their raw gun skills and them winning duels, Abel, a master of the operator, I think really a lot of those rounds, the way they were able to take it down before the bomb was able to even get on site was because of their supreme utility usage. And you saw Viking, Viking was flexing a little bit himself on the Sova, making one-man utility plays happen. But that's the thing. Viking was only making one-man plays with his utility. He was having cool lineups. He got the synchronized shock darts down. But when you look at Sac State, they're playing off of each other's utility. They don't need to make these single-man hero plays and be as efficiently as possible by themselves because they have these setups that they're going to, and they seem to be working consistently. And so that was just so well played from Sac State. I worry for Wayne State because they seem to be more relying on their own skill to just take home these matches rather than the team play. And so on this next map, I will say there's a lot less cool little utility tricks you can do as a team on Haven as compared to Ascent. I think Ascent is one of the best maps for those early setups. And so maybe we see a different look, and maybe we see why Wayne State did pull out the match the first time around. And so I'm excited to get into this next game, but I do believe we have a break coming up. And so until then, don't go anywhere. We'll be seeing you guys in just a bit.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 Classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch it! What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing!
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 Classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch it!
What?
Welcome back, guys, gals, and non-binary pals here to the ECAC Valorant playoffs here. It's the semifinals. Wayne State taking on Sacramento State. Joker and Tristan over here with me. And before we get into everything else here, we do want to thank one of our sponsors. Big shout out to Lenovo. Lenovo Legion knows you play to win. To stand out from the competition, you need equipment that matches the speed of your thoughts and actions. The Legion Y25 monitor delivers wins in the toughest, most critical situations. With its extreme 1 millisecond response time to its insane 240 Hz refresh rate, the Legion Y25 doesn't just keep up, but does a lot more. Built for those engaged in vast multiplayer battles at the tournament level, the Legion Y25 offers a 24.5-inch FHD IPS panel with built-in NVIDIA G-Sync compatibility. The Legion Y25 monitor is available at Lenovo.com and other fine retailers. Thanks again to Lenovo for sponsoring and helping out, making sure that this broadcast goes as smoothly as possible so that we can bring you more ECAC action. And speaking of ECAC action, let's take a look at the brackets, Tristan, and try to break down, or at least take a look at what got us up to this point. As you can see, we do have Wayne State did beat New York Tech here in the first round. It did have a bye technically, as New York Tech did have to forfeit. Meanwhile, we're seeing on the flip side, Sac State, they took down Catawba, who beat Florida State 2-1. So these teams really are starting to roll through and roll onto their strides. Meanwhile, on the other side, we do see SUNY Poly taking on RPI as they have made it through, facing off against their opponents. So it's going to be a pretty big matchup here, depending on what happens and what shakes down in these two semifinals.
Yeah, and both of these teams, obviously, you can see why they're at this point in the bracket. You see why they're at the semifinals, and you see why either of them can't deserve to play in this final series. So much individual play that works so well. And on the Sac State, you see this teamwork that seems to be at a professional level. These guys are pulling off high coordination plays seemingly every round. Their retakes, although they were stuffed a few times by Wayne State on that second half of Ascent, they work together seemingly every time for better or for worse. And really, the sky's the limit for a team that coordinates this well. And so I can't wait to see them in this next map. I can't wait to see them in the finals if they are to make it there. But let's not count Wayne State out just yet. They beat Johnson and Wales 2-1. They're here to play. They had a fantastic second half. The clutches were in their favor. They have that Mamba mentality, the mindset needed to win, and they're here to gun for the victory. And on a map like Haven, I do believe this can benefit a playstyle like Wayne State's a bit more as compared to Haven, and so, or as compared to Ascent that we saw last game. And so I'm excited to see what they bring to the table this time around.
Yeah, I am excited as well. Remember, this is going to be Sacramento State's pick, and they were on the attacking side. So we'll see what they do. It looks like they're running basically the same composition that they did on Ascent, and it can work out. Again, the having the information there to make sure that Cypher brings in the visuals gonna be pretty crucial. Finding the defense here on this triple-sided map. Meanwhile, we see Arena picked up here for Wayne State, so they are looking to be very aggressive when they get their turn to attack. Opening with Reyna, opening with just double duelists, and making sure that they can dive in and try to take anybody down as quickly as possible is going to be key here. Again, remember, this is Sacramento State's pick. They did pick the attacking side. They won Wayne State's pick of Ascent, as Wayne State did start on the attacking side. So this is where we talked about here before we got into that first map of what you do on the attacking side on Haven. You need to put up a 10-piece, because otherwise you're gonna have such a hard time picking up round wins on the defensive side on this map. It's just so difficult to defend.
Standing ahead.
Yeah, now that I say that, Viking showing off a bit more of his lineup. This one's more of a classic. Sovas know this on the C site for Haven. And if there is a weakness of Sova, it's getting rushed, as we see the A take coming in hot, and already they're on the site. Zobi trying to rotate over, as we see a few shock darts ringing out from Trippy. He wants to show off a few lineups of his own. Viking trades back, but no one really finding damage just yet. Meanwhile, Munoz, he's positioned so aggressively in heaven. If anyone watches him when that smoke clears, he could be a free shot. Already they're trying to get back onto this site, as we see from heaven. That's one already be taken by Trippy. Man advantage evened up now, as we see Nos picking up the rogue ghost left on the ground.
Yeah, good trades here. It does mean that Sac State still have that position. Zobi is going to be in a really good position as well, and it's going to be so hard. Just a complete easy clear for Wayne State. They'll pick up the first round.
And a sea of blue in the kill feed there, as we see every player getting tagged up a fair bit there. And I mean, the duels seem to be close all around the board, but they tip in the favor of Wayne State nonetheless. The retake is strong. They secure that first round, and they make it look good.
They did a great job pushing together defensively and not getting caught off guard. This is a harder map to get caught off guard by the flanks, so Nas isn't going to be able to find the lurks as easily as he was there on Ascent. It's not as easy to dive behind the back line and catch him napping, so to speak. But now we got to see, can Sacramento State push in as a team and continue to work as a team and shake off these first rounds. It's going to be a little bit tough here. They're up against some upgraded weapons
right now.
Yeah, they are. Well, they're splitting now. They hit A, trying to see what they can find, but maybe they found some of that Killjoy utility. Maybe they just decided that A wasn't going to be the play and they need to push somewhere else. I'm not sure what the decision making is here now.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, they were able to get some information that no one's playing that aggressively around the A side. As we see more jump peeks from Viking, trying to spot out C here. And this is one of the weaknesses of Sova. Once he uses that drone, once he uses his arrow, he suddenly realizes there is no way he can get a clear look at long without having to risk his own life. And as we see the hit come through, this site has been abandoned. No one here to stop them. And so, at the very least, they will get the bomb plant down as Abel. He's getting tagged up outside a garage, tries to get himself out of dodge by using that updraft, but he only has a shorty. He has to get very close behind someone if he wants a kill, but as he pops his knife out, he's going to give himself that extra bit of movement speed. Wants to get behind him as Viking. Another Sova dart lineup. This man is a geometry major. Every shape, he knows the ins and outs, and he gets himself yet another shock dart lineup kill. But here's the smoke. They can just stick to the fuse, and it's got to be up to some kind of lineup. They have to try and hit him through the smoke, and so far it's not coming through. Viking able to get it to half, but he is still being spammed the entire time. Some return fire, though. You can do it too. We can spam you just as hard as you can spam us, and we can just take the bomb as well. 5-0. It is a flawless round, despite how exciting it looked at the beginning. In the end, Wayne State fire off and fire back for a second round.
That is not the site defense that I wanted to see from Sac State. You could take that if you've got rifles, if you've got an operator, because you can hold that long angle. The problem is the utility was there for Wayne State. They were able to push it onto the site. They had the utility to block off C long. When you're playing with pistols and you're trying to make that plant on C, it's just not going to work out against rifles and against a lot of utility. So I don't necessarily know exactly why Sacramento State decided to go for that. They needed to try a closer or a different approach to hold that C site. Otherwise, they might have been able to pick it up had they been able to do so.
Man, in that 10-15 seconds you went over that round, suddenly they're already on the A site. This was quick as lightning as we see more shock darts coming through. This time they're just a little bit late, trying to get the drone out onto the side. The first player to get tagged here could be in some trouble. Instead, it'll spot out Nas. They know that he's waiting in this tight corner, and he's got a lot of work cut out for him. We'll try and hit the blind, but he can't readjust in time. Samir's gotten one. Zobi chimes in with one of his own, but two going the way of SAC State. They even up the numbers. They're stuck on site though, and they're slowly getting pinched in. Viking finds the first. This one is so close, so tight. As we see Viking swinging around the corner, he's still moving. The man is Ferrari peeking with a 3-piece on the site. The soda will be the bomb that goes with it. And it's a third round. These retakes for Wayne State, even in the last map, were disgusting.
That was a brilliant play coming in, just sweeping across the map, sweeping across, picking up those shots left and right. And this is where things get very, very dangerous on the side of Sacramento State. They have dropped 3 on their map pick and on the attacking side of Haven. It is not. This is not a defensive sided map. With the 3 sites, it's usually very difficult to defend. But with the aggression and with the weaponry now that Wayne State have, they're going to pick up a 4th, maybe a 5th, depending on how Sacramento State can play out their final bye round. Unless they find some lucky shots with these sheriffs and are able to take away some guns out of their hands, this is not going to be a good round for them.
Yeah, BB just charging through, wins the aim duel, only a sheriff, and so if you don't hit that first shot, things suddenly look a lot worse for Ware, and they should be able to get the bomb plant down at the very least, and so next round should look a lot better than this one, and hey, maybe they get a few frags on the players trying to get back onto the site, as eventually this bomb will force them out into the open, but they're not making it easy. They can just wait on their utility, and you can already see the Sova arrow being lined up on the site, everyone willing to push behind it, able to take that down really quickly. But with the drone behind it, eventually they're going to pinch in. The knives find the first, but Viking, he's able to get the spray down, the second headshot as well, and while it did look a little bit sketchy for just a moment there, they get it locked down. They'll even donate the plant over to Viking to help him get that Hunter's Fury online the sooner.
I mean, that was a nice try coming in from the side of Able to try to pick up a couple kills. Found that one with the knives, but yeah, when you're facing a high-powered weaponry, when you've got pistols, there's just not too much you can do. You have to try to get aggressive and get really lucky with a few shots. They found some of them. They just weren't able to find enough. And the gunplay coming in from Wayne State, they're ow! Excuse me, I have my cat jumped on my lap again and just clawed up my leg. As I was saying, the gunplay coming in from Wayne State, they're looking very different than they did in map number 1. They're looking more confident. They're looking stronger. They're hitting shots that obviously that they need to hit, but they're hitting shots that are kind of crazy. You don't think that they're going to hit them, and then they just find a couple members of Sac State lacking. And that's where Wayne State is starting to flourish. Now, Sacramento State really need to find this route. They really need to find a few picks. They need to get on the site. They need to do something. They have to stem the bleeding for now.
They just missed each other. Like ships in the night, they just passed right by and Abel. Now they should have no idea where he's coming from. He'll get the first, but can't adjust the spray. Can't keep it consistent for the second. Now our player waiting towards C will get mowed down as well. Viking still on the top of the leaderboard for his team and the game. Holds them off for now, but that buys so much space on that A site. They have quite a rotation for themselves. And on BB, low HP, this is going to look worse for Ware. The blind will come out onto one. Critical Raven is looking towards the sky, but no one can save him here. Not when he is this blind. He's got no vision much of anyone. Viking, again, trying to line up some shock darts, but these blinds, they keep opening up windows of opportunity, and Nos is cashing in. Viking now another kill that he could possibly find for himself, and BB is on low HP this entire time. How is he making it happen? Now he's on for the defuse, and no one can get to him in time. He just sticks it for himself. iPsycho peeks around the corner, eventually takes him out from inside of the smoke, but it's not in time, and Wayne State finally... No, they don't drop the round. They got the defuse. It's 5-0.
Yeah, that was just Psycho not making the rotation back to the site in time. Nosh was just able to sneak around and make the play happen, and that was crucial to allow that win, obviously. But just to really be able to get in and make it so difficult. Now we've got another pause coming in from Sacramento State, as they are sitting 0-5 on their own map. This is a very, very tough position to be in. You've got to figure something out. You've got to retool something. You've got to try to hit one of these different sites. You've been hitting A and C the entire time. Why not try B? It's usually been left fairly open. Maybe try just to find an opening pick somewhere and just make it a 5v4 instead of a straight 5v5. There's so many places, so many things that they could try differently and that they're going to need to. This is not a good position for them to be in. Down 5 rounds on the attacking side on their map. You have to win out to even have a glimmer of a chance to win this map. Otherwise, we very well could see Wayne State just completely sweep this map and then move on to our decider of bind, feeling very, very confident about themselves.
Yeah, and getting smashed on your own map pick. Where have we seen this before? It's a story that's been told once so far in this series, and we know how it ends. Maybe we get a bit of a new author in Sac State this time around, as Abel, once again, it's the A hit over and over again. Hasn't worked out for him so far, and this time they think better of it as the Killjoy nades will stop them for now. Abel not quite having the impact that he was last game this far in. But once he gets an operator on his hands, especially if he's going to be the man watching over the C site with that operator on the defensive side, I'm sure he can really find his way back into this game. But as for now, attacking side, ops aren't so friendly on this map. And so with this rifle, he's got to do it all the old-fashioned way. As we see, the fault line will stun up one. Viking forced to give up his own position. Doesn't want to get swarmed as Munoz on the site. Will get tagged by the dart, forced out into the open by the Hunter's Fury. Tagged to the wall. 67 HP, and Trippy will finish him off as he is slowed down by the bullets.
That is the crucial pick that I was talking about. They needed to find a pick, find a way to open up this round, open up the map. Now, the teleport's going to get canceled. So they know that somebody's going to be around on the A site. Abel finds another kill onto Zobi, so they could look towards the B site, but I like the rotation over towards C. Make it a little bit harder for the rest of the team to jump over and try to defend the site. In a 5v3, this is looking really good for Sacramento State.
Spike planted.
And this is one of the things about Haven that makes it so much more attacker-sided than other maps, is because you can kill someone on B site and within seconds just rotate out to C, and suddenly the defender side is stuck scrambling because not only did their own team just die, suddenly you're on a different part of the map, already getting the bomb down. Then you have to rotate over, you have to worry about flanks, worry about how quickly they can get the bomb down and how fast you have to make the retake. It's just not an easy map when you get split up and picked apart like this. Now only 3 strong, you got one player stuck garage. We'll use that paranoia, catch Nas slip, and he is completely blind. Viking will get the first, but he doesn't expect the second player, and when he tries to take down the dart, that's when they spring into action, and Abel, finally he comes alive for the side of Sac State. And we'll get their first round on the board, 5-1. It doesn't look pretty, but they're starting to get things done.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be pretty to be a win. That's the important part here. There's nothing about this match for the rest of this match for Sacramento State that's going to be pretty. This is going to be a very gritty, grinded out match. They have to take every single round from the hands of Wayne State, and just they have to claw. They have to grind to try to find these rounds, even if it's a one person left standing type of round. That's really all they need. Is Abel, I love the opening, finds the pick onto BB01 after that dart comes in. Again, opening pick huge here for Sacramento State.
And what we were talking about last game, those combinations of the utility. He gets fault line stunned up. Meanwhile, Sova throws a special dart just for short. He's tagged up around the corner. He's stunned. There's literally nothing he can do at that point except for walk into the waiting arms of Abel. And speaking of which, Munoz, he'll give himself over as well. His teammate just did the same thing. Zobi doubles up though with 2 headshots. He makes the numbers even by some miracle. Wayne State looked to be out of the round, but just like that, they're back in it and they are still looking hot.
You gotta check your angles, kids. When you're moving into different rooms, you gotta check all your corners. Otherwise, you're gonna get pegged in the back of the head just like that. Now, we did see that kill just happen off screen, so now it's 3v2. Quick rotations coming around towards the C site. Zobi has no information, no knowledge to where anybody is. 30 seconds left, and they're pushing onto the C site. And they will be able to take this, and in a 3v2, it's going to be very difficult to defuse. Run it back, though. Proc for Zobi. He finds one, and that's massive.
2v2 now with 14 seconds. They have to commit to this bomb plant. And there's two different angles to watch. Do they realize that Critical Raven is waiting CT, or do they have to worry about long as well? Zoe will be using that blaze to block off the vision for one. Nas uses that shadow step, tries to get himself repositioned, and will find the first kill. And with that, they can just watch the same angle, set up a firing squad. He tries to use the updraft, but he puts himself in a bad position, and now around the box, he maneuvers himself to safety. Another shadow step being used, but Zobi, he has no idea where it is. He's trying to check all different angles. He's confused and dazed and has no idea where he should be looking. Nas finally tries to activate, but Zobi, he thinks better of it now. He wants to commit to at least half. He's going to try and take down the bomb and look for Nas afterwards, and he catches him jumping. An ace for Zobi, brings his team back into it, and in the most unlikely fashion, Wayne State still bring out the round.
An ace, a clutch for Zobi. This man is literally on fire now, picking up those 5 kills, skyrocketed him up on the scoreboard. Now tied with Viking in terms of kills, and they needed somebody else to step up too. You can't just rely on one player. Viking and BB have been doing a great job, but Zobi now stepping up when it matters to pick up that round. I would have liked to have seen Nas play Ring Around the Rosie a little bit more. Delay just a little bit further. You know you can't stop the first half from coming in, but make it a little bit tougher for him to try to pick up the second half of the defuse. Try to make it a little bit more difficult. Do something, delay the time just a little bit. You saw 2 seconds left on the clock. That was all that was standing between Sacramento State and that round win. Now, Abel's got to check this. He's got to check this height advantage. BB, why did he fall? He fell off at the wrong time. But Critical.
Maybe it's a bait.
It's gonna shut
Maybe
me
it's
up.
a bait. Yeah, Abel walks it right into the crosshairs of Critical Raven there. Maybe it was a bait. I mean, we'll call it that, right? Maybe it wasn't the best of decisions. He had the superior angle after all, but it works out in the end. And so, hey, if it works out, you might as well call it intentional. As we see Critical Raven up towards heaven, he's the last man left on A. And so, as Munoz walks in, does he realize how many players are waiting close? He'll line them up and he'll cut them off. That's a barbershop opening for Munoz.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, and Critical closes it up. They've got 2 pairs so far, and it looks like the full house is not going to come in. Trippy is the only one left standing here.
30 seconds.
Zobi might find this one. Yep, and he does. Another flawless round, and this is looking very, very bad for Sacramento State. They're gonna have to do the reverse here. They're gonna have to win on defense, and that's not easy to do on this map. Now, I say that Wayne State are making it look easy, but typically you don't see defensive teams go up 7-1 in the first half on this map. Usually it is very attacker focused, attacking side heavy. So I think Wayne State, they've got these set pieces, these defensive set pieces in their pockets and plays, and we're now seeing that the flank plays on Ascent they're not available for Sacramento State, and they're starting to flounder a little bit.
Yeah, and Wayne State is just looking like a completely different animal on this map. And I feel like Wayne State, when they have their momentum going, when they're feeling comfortable, they just look so much better. And you're seeing it play out this time around. You see all these confident peaks. Viking willing to just get into Garage despite not having any utility to really push himself in. He just wants to fight. He wants the frags. And this is just not something you saw in that last map because they were getting pulled apart in so many of the rounds. They were nervous about utility. They were nervous about peeking into people. And at this point, they're just taking full command of the map. Look how little ground Sac State has taken already at 54 seconds. They're not even into Garage yet.
Not really been able to do much of anything, and the stall is not helping them out. That blind will come in. Zobi might have been seen. Dart. This is a good angle, but moves out too early.
Yeah, the dart just seeing him the entire way through. I mean, the man just stood on it. These lineups are looking so
30
potent
seconds
for
left.
Sova on the C site. This is pretty much his best site to actually use these darts on because it is so wide open. Just the box to kind of play around. As we see Munoz trying to get back into garage, there is a player waiting around the corner, and that is valuable. If the Cypher is able to get a few kills for himself, he can put a stuff to this retake before it can even come through. And Krolos, he's good for one. The second would put a cap on this round, and it's all up to Critical Raven, who's stuck in spawn all alone. This is a lonely life he has to live as he tries to run out with his gun.
I don't think Sacramento State need to try to play the chase down here. You've already done a decent amount of damage. You don't want to give up any of your other guns. As you want to save every little bit you can. So I do like this play of running away. They finally make a flank play work, but it works on the back of, again, Wayne State players not checking angles, not checking corners, moving out before they can find anything. With Krolos just hanging around behind that box, nobody decided to look that way. And once that happened, they also split up, and Krolos was just able to find Zobi. Easy pickings here in garage to secure the round. Wayne State, you know, we said that they're playing more of the individual style. They're playing more as like an individual group of players, which has been winning them these rounds, being able to find the kills here and there. But we're seeing some of the different things start to fall apart a little bit on the individual level. Players aren't checking their corners. They're not using utility properly, and they're starting to they're still up, but some of these struggles are coming into play as a team of 5. And if Sacramento State can just capitalize on those, they can start to turn this match back around and try to take the second map.
Yeah, and I love how Viking is using a different dart seemingly every round as Munoz. He'll just waltz himself in, pick up a few, thank you very much, throw out the blind, and make sure they get out of the B site because this is on lock. Munoz closes it for business.
Once again, the individual play is coming out for Wayne State with Munoz on that with that double kill, and wisely enough knew he was still animation locked, didn't have the gun out, so did not decide to try to check that corner after throwing the blind. Always something you've got to be wary of on any character is what your animations are. As Munoz finds another one but finally falls, but it's a 2v4 to try to take this site.
Yeah, and Krolos knows better. He knows not to plant default because there are plenty of lineups that Viking has in store for him. He will get the bomb down in the back of the site, and they're already looking for these darts. They're already so worried about the utility that could potentially come through. Phoenix will take the first engagement, somehow wins it. Krolos, he's good for one, but that's about it. 3 still alive on the side of Wayne State. For some reason, want to keep calling them Wayne University. Either way, 8 on the board to 2. 2 rounds left in the half, and this is going to be all important for Sac State. They need to be able to bring these into the half with them if they want a chance at victory, because 10-2, it's a lot. There's a lot less hope than 8-4. 8-4 just feels so much closer.
8-4 feels better, especially when you're having to go on the defensive side. Now we could see again a turnaround and see Sacramento State completely wash on the offensive side and then just completely send Wayne State to school. But the way that they're playing this map, I'm not 100% sure that will be the case. They're struggling to make some plays. Some things are looking good. They're playing fairly well at times as a team, but it's just they're struggling on the individual basis, one by one against players for the most part in most of these rounds. And they've got.
How do you send a team to school when they're playing from their school? It's the ultimate defense. I mean, they're unschoolable. As we see more utility being used early on, that's going to ensure that no one's pushing up a oftentimes seen habit from the Sac State offenses. They try and get some early pressure on short every round. This time around, they won't be doing it. In fact, they even have tripwires setting up for the flank. Munoz will be able to see anyone aggressing if they want to get back to the A site, but there is a tripwire guarding him, and so he won't be able to push all the way out, especially because these tripwires are so annoying. Around the doors, he will swing into one, and Nas just never sees it coming, gets his head taken off his shoulders, but Krolos, he is waiting around the corner, and as soon as the tripwire goes down, he realizes that he won't be looking the same way. Now Abel and Trippy on the other side of the map, they're also chiming in with a few kills of their own. They all rotate back over towards A, and it is a 3v2. with one member on low HP, and so SAC State doing a great job of mid-round, picking things back up in these default positions and already waiting up in heaven. I don't know if they're going to expect this jet.
I don't know if I like the lockdown play over onto the B site because it just leaves A wide open. Zombie didn't find any information either with the run it back. Now they're going to have to rush in as a team and try to find where these players are. But again, they're not checking their corners. They're not checking their angles. Abel is just sitting in heaven. Zombie knows he's right there. But with the team swing, Krolos falls, Abel picks up a triple kill, and they finally pick up the round. And that's what I'm talking about. The team play from Sacramento State is huge, swinging together to get the trade and to secure the round.
And that's exactly what you need if you're SAC State. Not only is it a boost to your round score, but your confidence definitely going to feel a little bit better now that you've just won a straight 5v5. Everyone had the buys there. You can really just feel like you outplayed the opponents as we see some great post-plant setup. Abel was able to get up into heaven nice and early. The reason that Wayne State never checked that was because they thought they'd hear the sound cue of the updraft. They didn't realize that he'd gotten in there so early before they were even within sound cue range, and so able to sit on that spot as we see another wacky lineup. Viking, where are you pulling these out from, buddy? And it lands perfectly. It's such a weird spot too. You wouldn't see this dart coming from a mile. You wouldn't see this dart coming even if you had knowledge of it beforehand, because it's just so many different bounces. Takes forever to get there. And I'm sure it makes minimal noise as we see finally they start to work their way out towards mid. Cypher using the trap to make sure no one tries to peek them as they approach. As we see the curveball around the corner is a Cypher tripwire waiting for him the entire time. And Zobi, despite blinding up a player, despite getting a free peek, he is held back by some diligent play out of Cypher.
Oh, that's a big pick by Munoz, being able to take down Abel. And that was needed because you did see that Zobi had a great angle, had multiple blinded people there in courtyard, could not find any kills. So good to see that somebody is able to pick up that opening frag and stall out Sacramento State even longer. Now 30 seconds left. They've got to make a decision. I don't think this is going to be the quote-unquote right decision, though, as they're going to end up walking into a bunch of utility. Trippy, though, will find Zobi on the kill, and that could open up the site. They've got to take down some of this Killjoy utility, and they do so. They're playing for the long plant again, trying to watch down C long, and I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the play. They've got to make sure that all the blinds, all the smoke have been used, and they're sticking on the site. I like this much better.
Yeah, 4v4 at the moment. They don't want to give up too much free real estate as the bomb is planted backside. This time they do have rifles to try and spam through the smoke. Viking out of garage will get the first one, but Krolos lines everyone up. 3K already. He'll get the fourth, and they won't get the chance to get back on site. No spam needed.
That's got to feel good if you're Krolos. Ending out the round, as we said, 8-4, feeling much better than a 10-2 or even a 9-3. And then stepping up to get that 4-piece right at the end feels really good, but now they have their work cut out for them on the defensive side of the map. This is gonna be tough.
Krolos probably feeling good about himself, hyping up the team in the chat. I'm sure there was a lot of comms really picked up after that one. I mean, you see your teammate get a fantastic hold all by himself. That's really got to pump the team up and their morale. And on this side, this is going to be a bit better for the side of Sac State because Abel can now pick up that defensive operator, maybe watch over C with it if he so chooses. This map, though, I mean, wouldn't be surprised to see him opt out of the operator because rifles, you know, they're so much more versatile. They don't have to watch these long angles like C. You can go for retakes much easier when you're playing that kind of style. And so it's interesting to see what Abel will pick up on this map. It's not the same as the others we've seen so far. Trippy now with his own lineups, hoping to hear that plant come default on A because he wants to pick up some free kills. Meanwhile, the entire team, though, starting to slink over towards garage. They're checking out C, scoping it, kind of feeling it out, seeing what the vibes are.
It's a pretty good Omen camera there, right at C long. The triggering of the trap wire is also pretty crucial. That lets them know that they can get in onto C. As Munoz finds that pick in mid, that is going to open up the C site for them very, very easily. Although Zobi gets traded out, this could be big for Sac State for the retake.
Bomb plant goes down. 4v4 2 individual picks coming out, but
No.
Munoz, oh, look at this flank. Everyone passes by. They have no idea where he could be, and this is his big opportunity. He'll get the first headshot. He's good for 2, looking for a third, and he has it. The 4th player waiting in the back of the site. He'll use that dismiss to get back around the corner, wait for reinforcements to arrive. Eventually he falls, but his teammates already so close and ready to swarm. Viking will strike for the last kill of the round, and that was beautifully played from Wayne State.
And Sacramento State failing to check their own corners, failing to check their own angles as they rotate around. They knew that Munoz could have been around in garage after getting that pick in mid. They don't do anything about it. They don't try to get the early check. They just filter in onto the C site, and it's just real easy for Munoz to just walk up and start tapping heads with that pistol and just making things a problem. Now Abel with the sword, he's going to get the knife kill.
Crumble is able to trade it out, but man, that would have been so great to see. The blind keeps him locked into the corner, but he recovers from it just in time to get the shots off. Zobi now going to try and clean up this round as he gets back into heaven, but he's got a player waiting on the other side of the smoke, just barely able to squeak that one out. Looked dangerous for a second, but he only takes a single shot, and with that 3K, everyone else will clean up, and it's only 2 lost on the second bonus round. As we see 10-4 now. Wayne State picking things back up. Looked a little scary at first, but so far they're looking good.
Interesting round here because mostly SMGs and light shielding coming in from Wayne State against the full weaponry and mostly full shielding from Sacramento State. So Sac State, they have the position to try to take this round. Now Wayne State have a good economy that even if they lose this round, they're going to be fine. They're not going to be hurting. They're going to be able to buy up without too much issue. Now, the problem will be Sacramento State falls, and it's still so many creds in the pocket of Wayne State. They'll be able to take the SMG versus pistol round very easily. And so this is really going to help determine how the rest of this match shakes out. And if Wayne State are just going to cruise to 13-4, or if Sacramento State can try to fight back, they need this round win with these rifles.
Yeah, and one thing I did want to note as well is Sac State, they're just not able to use their utility nearly as effectively on this map. How many times have you actually seen this breach blind someone before getting onto site? As I say that though, Psycho heard I was talking that mess, and so he'll get the opening pick for the round. Bomb is going down as well, but the fault line will try and delay that for just a little bit longer. Both the shock darts not connecting quite how Trippy wanted. His lineups don't seem to be quite on par with Vikings so far. He does still have his retake arrow though, and this is crucial, especially on the A side. This is one of the best times to use this Sova dart because you can spot out so many people. Zobi waiting around the corner, uses that curveball, but he hears Abel from heaven dash onto the side. He's going to try and turn things back around, but Abel through the smoke, he knows, he's too aware. He dashes back out to long to try and find the last player. Gets a bit too hypey for himself, but Krolos is still here to keep him covered. In a 5th round, now fighting back for Sac State University.
They lose a lot. They lose two players with rifles and shielding. However, they should be able to buy up. They should. It's going to be very sketchy. Abel is sitting on a frenzy. Nas is not going to be able to full buy any weapons either. That is a scary round because neither one of them were able to pick up kills, so they weren't able to pick up credits. And now they're going to have to go frenzy and shielding and a judge and light shield versus full buys from Wayne State. This is not the position they wanted to be in. You really could not afford to lose any members in that round. And since you have, it's going to be so much more difficult to do so. They get some information with another nice Sova dart there on the defensive side. So hard to see those darts in the trees, and they provide a lot of that early information into a lobby and trying to determine where is this team gonna hit. They've made their way over to C. They gotta be careful.
Both of these universities can open up new classes on Sova lineups because I have been educated so hard so far this match. Both Viking and Trippy with their respective Sovas showing me so many new different tricks, new different angles as they're using that. That's the run it back pop. Zobi showing up a class of his own. He's getting out into garage onto the C side as well. So much pressure just from a single ultimate. Even going to draw out the arrows who don't quite land because of that run it back, bringing him back to his original point of spawn. Now Viking, he'll try and use a few lineups of his own. Not going to catch much damage as we see a 3v2. it's going to be a difficult retake as there is a single member just holding the angle, and BB gives him the fight that he was looking for at a garage through the smoke. Trippy 4K, and he makes it happen as he has the wonderful timing that allows him a few free kills.
That is such a good round here for Sacramento State. That feels so good because now most of your team can buy up. Trippy can buy for Nas if he needs to. And so, yeah, Nas will be able to buy utility. Trippy can just buy whatever weapon that Nas wants and make sure that everybody's up and ready for this round. And you're going up against Sheriffs and some armor, so it should be another easier round picked up for Sacramento State, and one that will help them get the momentum rolling, get the ball rolling again. They've picked up these last 2 rounds in a row, and they're starting to look like a different team from the first half. This is where they needed to be. They struggled in the first half very, very hard. We do have a tactical pause coming out, so this could allow Wayne State to try to retool and get themselves back in, pick up the round win.
Yeah, and I mean, these teams seem to be defying expectations. It seemed like last map, I mean, Ascent, you don't exactly know it as an attacker-sided map. It seems a bit more even, and yet the attackers would steamroll both of the halves. This time around, you'd expect this map to be a lot more attacker favor, and suddenly the defenses are going Super Saiyan. And so I think they're just trying to make us look silly as casters and analysts at the moment, and so they're doing a good job of that at the very least. As we see the share of buy-ups, it's time for Sac State. It's time for Wayne State to try and flex some of their aim duels, try and flex some of their aim training, their aim labs high scores as another kind of a wacky dart there to see if there's any possible A rush coming through. Not gonna spot much of anything as Munoz. He'll get tagged up just a bit. Wanted to take the single shot, hopefully get that single shot kill. As we see more players filter in towards garage, utility committed as well.
I think Zobi actually got dinked down a little bit, used the hot hands to heal himself back up, most likely. This is going to be a massive rush onto the C site, though. Split up, so if they find a pick either way, this could spell trouble for Wayne State. Good shock dart on a critical Raven. Finds a lot of damage. As Psycho did find Munoz, that is another huge one. The Rolling Thunder is going to work wonders.
Viking, he's trapped on the inside of the site, trying to recover desperately from the Rolling Thunder. Will eventually be able to take one down for himself, but the Flood, it's like a Halo. You just get swarmed. You just don't have enough bullets in the clip to take them all down. Viking, the lone man standing. The Alamo isn't defended in a 7th round now. Like we saw last game, we see the defenders coming back, pushing themselves back into the game, and it just seems to, every time you want to count a team out, they prove you wrong.
Yeah, I mean, even with the 8-4 half, things were looking very, very good for Wayne State. Now, I mean, they still have a way back into this match. They finally got themselves another full buy. But again, if they lose this, the economy is going to be looking very rough. They're going to have to save for at least 1, if not potentially 2 rounds, depending on how those rounds shake out and what kind of kills they can find.
Oh, look at this. It's going to be a full war at the C site. Already 1 kill apiece for both teams, trading back and forth. So far, a single man advantage for Sac State.
That is a choice that Sacramento State made, and it works out for them in this case. They come out ahead on the trades, and they take out so many guns of Wayne State already, but they lose some of their own. Got to be very careful, but there's nowhere else that Wayne State can go. They can't really make a play in through B because they'll get hurt through garage. So they're going to have to go through C, and Psycho has a beautiful angle here.
Oh, but that angle gets negated when that blind comes out. He's not able to see the first. Gets to the back of the site. He's thrown out so many, but Munoz is ready for it, and he doesn't allow him the chance to kill him while blind. He wants even more, and he will have even more. The third kill, he takes it in the clutch. Munoz shows up when needed to put an 11th on the board. Wayne State is back, baby.
Munoz is literally trying to put the team on his back. Yes, he doesn't have, he's got only like a 2-kill gap over Zobi and only a few more kills over Viking. But at this point, Munoz says, no, we're done with this. We're going to move on to the decider. Get in the backpack. We are going whether you like it or not. And picking up so many kills, it just, Sacramento State, they just couldn't swing together. They could have really picked him off there. if they had been able to swing out of garage together as a unit, get that trade. But then if you go into the 1v1s instead of a 2v1, it makes it so much easier for, you know, a player of his caliber to pick off those 1v1s and be able to secure the round.
And Mooney is having a fantastic second half of this game for himself because, I mean, you were watching him on the first half, and he was near the bottom of the leaderboard. He has really been able to pick things up now that he gets to play as he wants. The attacker Killjoy going to be dropping that one down onto the A side to ensure that no one can push while the bomb is being secured. And so they will have full control of this site. They want this 12th round. They want to get that pressure off of their shoulders to at least ensure an overtime. And it's going to be a difficult retake. They're trying to coordinate all the utility. It's going to work out. Krolos finds the first player trying to hide out in the smoke. Munoz is just waiting to activate. He is waiting to spring out, and all the players are so bunched up. This could be a potential lineup if someone were to get some shots down range, but Abel is just steamrolling through. He'll get another for himself. 2 players left. Critical Raven is going to try and stuff the take as Viking. Use that Hunter's Fury low HP on Ice Psycho. If he takes this kill, it could be all over. Everyone is just on a sliver, but Critical Raven has to get back, and the bomb blows up right on Ice Psycho's head.
Yes, like the clutch stopping of the defusal was what turned that around, because the rest of Sacramento State, they chased down the kills instead of trying to make sure that they could secure the defuse. And Psycho just was not able to get it there in time. Abel, I don't think, got it to the halfway mark, and that just spelled disaster there for Sacramento State. They have to win out. Every round matters now for the Hornets. Otherwise, Wayne State are going to take Sacramento State's map and force us onto that decider in a back and forth match that it's really, you don't very often see teams win on the other team's map. And we could very well see it here in this best of 3.
Ooh, Killjoy turret is waiting here. So if they were to walk through that smoke, they will get found out. And from there, the jig is up already towards C-side. They're showing so much pressure. Krill's forced to back off because of that drone tag. And already through B, I mean, they just simply don't have anyone to defend the site. They took a gamble, they pushed A, and the gamble just didn't pan out. And so they're going to have to play for a full retake, and this is do or die for them. And already Munoz, he doesn't give him the option. He says, you're choosing die. Abel doesn't think so just yet. He makes the numbers even, as there still is plenty of work ahead of them. There's the camera going out, will be immediately destroyed by Viking, who's playing very close next to the bomb. Doesn't have the greatest of positions for himself, but it is a crossfire nonetheless, as Critical Raven, he's waiting to make himself known. Trippy will start things off right for the side of Wayne State as they try and get back onto the site. The shot won't find much, but it's the spray, and suddenly everyone topples like dominoes. The crossfires don't work out for them, and everything falls apart on the site.
On a thrifty round, on a save round, Abel was the only one to really buy up, using that Hero Spectre to find, or the Hero Phantom to find the kills and find the damage, and then the rest of the team can pick up Phantoms as well. Oh, that is massive on the side of Sacramento State. Now you're feeling great. You've hindered Wayne State as well. They can't really buy up this round. You put yourself in a very, very good position, but that was all in the bag of Abel and that Hero Phantom. That was what gave them the round, the triple kill with the Phantom, and they pushed in onto the site as a unit, as a group of 5. That was very, very important now, but they're looking to just play another massive A side rush, and there's only Nas left standing.
Nas is waiting here, but it is a judge. You can never count the judge out, because the judge can solo put an end to any player that comes across his path. He'll get the first for himself, sees the second one around the corner, but before he can pull the paranoia out, Zobi is all over him. He springs out from short, and now onto the A site. They have 4 members strong. Everyone nice and healthy. They do have limited weaponry, but if they can line up some great shots, suddenly this could just be the end of the game right here, right now. Zobi bites off a bit more than he can chew, though, as we see the player chiming in with the kill itself, and the knives are coming out. It looks like they are just mowing down the team of Wayne State. It's not going to be so easy. 9th round on the board, and that's what happens when you're able to buy up as a team.
Yeah, Zobi making a move there that, he had no vision of. Thanks to his own wall, nobody could see through that A connector. Nobody could tell where they were, and he walks into 3 members blindly and just could not do anything at that point. There's definitely got to be some better plays there. You can't just run headlong into a blind corner and think that it's gonna work out in your favor. Now here's the problem again. Nas did fall, so he still has that judge that he bought up, but you're going up against full shielding and full rifles. If you cannot get in with that judge, you're basically dead weight and making it a 5v4 on rounds that you absolutely have to win.
Little pain for his team. We'll try and stuff the Phoenix, gets it successfully. And so now with no more armor and with no more run it back, Zobi, he doesn't actually get much accomplished. In fact, he's taken down a peg as we see more players committed towards the C side. Sac State, not going to see much. Wayne State rotates out. They want a bit of this, they want a piece of the B side. As there's a tripwire there, they take it out, and suddenly all eyes turn. Now, Nas is left alone in this A site, but there's a reason he has this judge. He actually chose the judge. He didn't want any other gun. His teammates could have easily bought him, especially considering they can't afford to lose a round. And so you want the most optimal weaponry you can possibly get your hands on. Nas chose this judge because, look, they're doubling back towards A. He has a tight angle. He can really make a dent on the numbers here if they walk across his path, and he is in prime position to do so. He's up for the test right now, and Viking will be the first one to take down, but he's got a drone already. If he gets tagged here, this could be dangerous. He didn't actually have to take that one down. Instead, he does it off of instinct and has to use this smoke to block them off. They now hear that he has the judge, and so they're going to be wary of these close angles. Munoz completely blinded up, traded 1-for-1, 4v4 on the site, but as he walks into the tripwire, Nas says thank you very much. He's waiting close, 13 seconds. They have to get this bomb down, but the attacker's Killjoy will zone the team off. They should be able to get the bomb down with no hesitation. 6 seconds now, but the lineups are there. Abel dashes onto the site. Munoz answers 2v2 now. As this is a big frag, Trippy wins it out, and with a single player left on the site, Vikings already been tagged through the boxes. He'll line up the first shot, the second one swings around the corner, but Sova, and it looks like Sova is greater than Sova this time around as Trippy holds down that number 4, bomb defused, and that's Wayne State still in this one, fighting tooth and nail.
State, again, they don't swing as a duo, and it nearly costs them the map. Krolos and Trippy, they did not move together, and there was a really, really good angle there from Viking to be able to hold and make sure that even if they did swing together, it was going to be a little bit more difficult to do so. We've got one more attack pause coming in, most likely from Wayne State, as they've dropped quite a few rounds in a row here to Sacramento State. They need to hit the pause button. They need to reset and say, all right, hold on. This is not working out the way we planned, especially going up against this judge that Nas has picked up yet again. I think I like that thought, Tristan, that Nas is purposefully choosing this gun because of the angles that he's holding, because of these close range plays, and the fact that Wayne State aren't always checking their corners when they're coming around out of doorways, out of entryways, and it's starting to bite them hard.
Yeah, and 12-10, 2 more rounds is all that Sac State needs. All that Wayne State needs to bring themselves back into overtime. Sac State, they're probably telling each other in the comms right now, all we need is a single round, guys. We have this credit bonus because we've lost so many rounds in a row. We can light by here, full by the next, and just try and close things out. They want to make it a 13-10, 13-11 like we saw last game. The comebacks, they may get close, but unless you're actually able to push yourself over the finish line, it won't matter. Ready's coming out as well, and so we should be back onto the map in just a moment here. 3 seconds, and this is going to be round 23.
It's this map is riding on the knife's edge here. Sacramento State are feeling the nerves, and so are Wayne State. But Sac State are definitely feeling so much better. Zobi falls through the smoke.
Krolos just knows his brain is too big. As we see Nas, he's trying to play around the smoke and so close with the judge. Oh, don't do it, Sac State. They're going to get mowed down. Nas has one for himself, tries to make it back around the corner. Will do so, but only with 9 HP. And without a healer on his team, that damage is going to stick. A ladybug could land on his leg and he would die. Those shock darts, if they're any closer, that's going to be a free pickup to make it a 4v3. Instead, Psycho, he wants to put the nail in the coffin and he wants to do it now. Munoz, he tries to get aggressive on the other side of the map, but no matter where you go, they are waiting for you.
Viking literally on 1 HP. And that is such a scary place to be in. And they can't go to any kind of site now. It looks like they're gonna set up for the save as Critical Raven threw down that turret there. Just
30
outside
seconds left.
of attacker spawn. They'll move into B, but they've got multiple angles being held there that are just gonna make it a little bit difficult.
Player standing.
Psycho, yeah, picks up that kill on a Viking, and it's a 5v1 here. And Raven being stood up it's going to make it so much more difficult.
10 seconds left.
And with a player waiting right around the corner, this should be the end of the round. Psycho gets all 3 that aggressed onto B. With a little bit of time in between the last kill, but I'm sure he's still more than willing to take that for himself. And now it is the crucial round, the most important one that Sac State could possibly think of. If they win this round, they could bring it to game 3. If they lose it, then suddenly Wayne State could look to take this 2-0 and get a vengeance for their prior loss. I do believe they did. They won last time around, did they not?
Yeah, Wayne State did beat Sacramento State in the regular season 2-1. So this would be massive for Sacramento State to be able to step up and say, yeah, that was a fluke and we can beat you. We can beat you this time when it matters here in playoffs.
But they have to close it here. And Krolos, he's going to try and get some more spam to the door. You saw him last round open up with a completely blind and with a completely, you could call it lucky or you could call it intuition. Either way, he was the man to get them on the board the first off in the last round. Now we see Zobi and Munoz working in tandem. They want to try and get as close to B as possible before giving up any information, before revealing themselves, as we see Viking committing the drone into garage. They don't actually see Nas though, and I love this teamwork. They have one player shoot at the drone while Nas plays close, and if they push into that garage, they could just get ground up and put down. Munoz is the first one in alongside his teammate Zobi, just a little bit ahead of him actually. As we see that A-Link players are going to be met with resistance if they want to get out of their sight. Rolling Thunder to try and soften the players up and get them down for an easy pickup. As we see Munoz and BB, they're posting up a strong defense and making a good case for themselves. I don't see a lot of ways in, but these two players are some of the best around. Krolos already getting one for himself, evens it to a 3v2, but he's got 2 angles to look at. And Zobi, he sees the gun barrel picking out, one player left all alone in the corner, and Zobi finishes them off. And just like that, all they needed was 1 round, and they will have their 1 round. At the 11th hour, they swoop in and they secure it in the most dramatic fashion. They had to the edge of our seats. They were baiting us the entire time, and they close it off right when they need to.
They're so close there. Just so many rounds going right in a row that it looked like Sacramento State could absolutely pull that out. And it's just, they get caught in some really tricky situations there in that final round. Not necessarily working together on the defensive side, getting caught in bad angles, getting caught by some good shots on the side of Wayne State. And now, all of a sudden, Wayne State, they've taken it 1-1 and forced us onto the deciding map of Bind.
Yeah, I love Bind. One of my favorite maps in the game. You see a lot of aim duels, and this one I think is going to come down to gunplay. I love to see that. I love to see 1-for-1s, and I like to see all these comebacks that are potentially being reached. They're all so close, but we've seen this same story play out over and over again. One team gets slaughtered the first half, and they make all this effort to come back for themselves just to get stopped right at the finish line. It's an unfortunate way to go, but in the end, we get more Valorant, and that's the important part.
That is the important part. We'll get to that more Valorant here in just a few minutes. We're going to take ourselves one last break for the night before we get on to map number 3, the deciding map to see who's going to go on to finals, Wayne State College or Sacramento State University. Stay tuned to ECAC action. You don't want to miss map number 3.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, non-binary friends, to our final map here of the semifinals in the ECAC spring playoffs between Wayne State College and Sacramento State University. Joker and Tristan here once again. Before we get ourselves into map 3, we got to thank our sponsor, Lenovo, one more time. Lenovo Legion knows that you play to win. To stand out from the competition, you need equipment that matches the speed of your thoughts and actions. The Legion Y25 monitor delivers wins in the toughest, most critical situations. With its extreme 1 millisecond response time to its insane 240 Hz refresh rate, the Legion Y25 doesn't just keep up, but does a lot more. Built for those engaged in vast multiplayer battles at the tournament level, Legion Y25 offers a 24.5-inch FHD IPS panel with built-in NVIDIA G-Sync compatibility. The Legion Y25 monitor is available at Lenovo.com and other fine retailers. Thanks again to Lenovo for helping us out and allowing us to put on this wonderful tournament, and especially to get action like we've seen over the last couple of maps between Wayne State and Sacramento State. These two colleges fighting tooth and nail to get themselves to the grand finals. And we're going to see it all come to a head here on Bind for map number 3.
And as we get on to map 3, like I was saying before, I'm expecting to see a bit of different picks coming out of both the sides on a map like Bind. I would love to see the Rays. I say it time and time again, every time we're on Bind, I think this is Rays' best map, and Rays can really flush out a lot of the site, especially when it comes to taking some of these tight angles. And for a team like Wayne State, they don't check a lot of their corners, like you were saying before. Why have to check your corners when you can just have your util do it for you? That'll shore up a lot of their weaknesses, and I think that'll fit right on into the team composition. But that being said, you always want to have a player on what they're comfortable with, and so it really does depend on what different agents they play. And as I say that, already 2 hovers on the Rays. We see Zobi and Abel. Zobi playing the Phoenix the last 2 maps. Maybe he wants a different look this time around. And it would make sense because Phoenix, I mean, he can flash himself out of bathrooms. He can flash himself up short. Those are all useful. But Abel just has so much utility on the Rays that he can provide. And as I say that, they might just look to take both. Why choose one or the other when you can just have Nas play Phoenix, rotate him off of the Omen, and have Abel on the Rays?
It's an interesting play. We'll have to see because, yeah, Nas, like you said, playing the Omen the last few maps, we don't know, exactly if he's going to be able to pilot this Phoenix just as well. We do see Arena being picked up here for Munoz along with the Rays. So looking for that duelist potential. No other, no Jet, no other really way to take advantage of the height differential is I think Abel is just using this last little bit of time here just to make sure that everybody has everything situated and ready to go for Sacramento State. This is, again, do or die. They find themselves on this this third map, the decider map, after losing their map there on Haven. So it'll be interesting. We do have a Cypher on one side and no other vision information outside of maybe the sky occasionally on the side of Wayne State. Gotta keep that in mind. We don't have the Sova darts coming in from Wayne State. Don't have any ways to really check vision, check angles to gather that information and know which side you should be able to hit or which side you should be able to defend. That could come into play. We'll keep that in mind. But again, we do see the Killjoy picked up by Critical Raven once again to offer at least a little bit of that site defense that she's known for.
Yeah, and one thing to pick up is that I'm surprised there's no Sova on this map. I am genuinely surprised from Wayne University that they're not taking the Sova this time around, especially Viking, who's been doing so well on his Sova pick. Sova has so many different tricks you can use to sweep out large areas on this map. Very easy to line up outside of bathrooms to get control of that on the A side. You can use the arrow mid to spot out a few players, as we see there. Trippy does just that to get somewhat control of bathrooms, but he hears a few players outside of it, and so he's hesitant to peek all the way. But yeah, the Sky, I think it's a very underutilized character, one that's really good on Bind as well, but as we see that, the hit's already coming out towards Bathroom.
Yeah, big trade that did come in. The heal does come. Errata Psycho might have
Spike down.
I'm not 100% sure exactly what happened, but Psycho falls,
Player standing.
and there's going to be a 2v1 now for Wayne State. They just trade back and forth, and Krolos is left standing alone in the bathrooms.
And this is an unfortunate way to lose the round, but iPsycho with a crash there, a bit of technical difficulties. We will have a technical pause, so they will have some chances to get their fifth member back into the game. Apparently it's a PC crash, and so a quick restart should bring him back and good to go. It's unfortunate, though. I mean, you never want to lose around that way, and honestly, winning around that way doesn't feel the greatest either.
Yeah, you know, having the advantage is nice and all. I mean, these players will take it. I mean, it's not like it's it is their tournament lives at stake in this map, so you'll take it. But like you said, you don't necessarily feel the best about it. You know that, yeah, it's a round win, you know, but you probably shouldn't have won that round. If Psycho hadn't crashed, didn't have the PC issues, very well could have traded out there in bathrooms and made it so much more difficult for Wayne State to try to pick up the victory. So, I mean, you take it. You take what you can get. Like I said, map 1, these are not going to be very pretty games. These are going to be very gritty, grind them out styles of maps, and you take what you can get. And the fact that Wayne State has taken that first round gives them the advantage rolling up in the next couple of rounds. They might look to do a full. They're going to look to do a full buy. Psycho is back in, as we can see him there running right by us.
You know what happened that last round? iPsycho didn't disconnect there. He just couldn't hear them coming because he wasn't using the new HyperX Cloud 2 wireless headsets. And I mean, if he had that, I'm sure he would have heard all the players stomping around the corner. And from there, it probably would have been ace.
I mean, all right, yeah, I'll give him that. He probably wasn't using the Cloud 2 HyperX wireless headsets. That's you know, that is a little bit of an unfortunate difference there. And I think what happened was he might have just had to restart his computer, realizing that, oh man, I don't have it. This feels terrible, and it, smashing his desk probably led to the restart. So we'll see if he can continue going on without those headphones, the headset coming in. Although I do like this coming in from Wayne State. They have completely taken over the B site.
Oh, and they quickly get out towards long. Do they expect a second player there, though? They have someone tucked into the corner as the trade's coming back in towards site. Zobi gets an early position towards elbow.
And now with the good control over the site in a 4v3, should look fairly easy for them. That dart, though, finds a lot of information, but hey, when Zobi can just land these long-range shots with the Spectre, don't need much else. That gun is not designed for that range of attack, and yet Zobi just makes it look easy.
He is hot with the hands right now, picking off heads one by one, clicking them at will. Zobi goes crazy as he pushes through elbow. And I mean, that's just always a fun angle to take. When you're playing pubs, when you're playing alone, you always want to push through elbow, get a bunch of heads picked off as they try and get back onto the B site. And Zobi, knowing that they're only on pistols, doesn't want to allow them to get within space of maybe being able to run, burst fire him, get all those cheesy kills that classics can do. And so he takes the fight to them, and he wins that fight. That being said, we see a full rifle buy versus a full Spectre round. And so if there's any time to fight back, it's now.
It's another one of those weird rounds where if you win with the SMGs, it's going to feel amazing because now you go into yet another save round. Now you go into another round against pistols, and that's what we like to call the double bonus coming in. Now, if you do lose this round, it's okay because you can buy back up and you only lost one round, and then it makes things a little bit easier depending on even if you're able to pick off a kill or two. But speaking of pickoffs, Sacramento State, they find 2 onto Wayne State there in Fountain. All of a sudden, things are looking a little bit sketchy for Wayne State here in this third round.
And that's just the difference when you have the Spectres versus the Rifles. The Rifle is just that much more potent when you're able to get these 1v1 duels, and that's what brings them ahead in this round. Now we see Munoz quickly disconnecting and reconnecting. Hopefully he's able to pick up a few new Lenovo hardware as we see him walking into the wall. I think his monitor shut off. That's why you need the new Lenovo as Viking tries to cover his teammate around the corner. But I mean, You're already down to the last 2 members, and one of them is having a staring contest with the wall right now. And so I don't like your chances, especially with 14 seconds left. Viking gonna try and get something, anything done while his teammate is stuck to save the rifle. We're gonna find a flash around the corner, but no one blind from it, and 3 players ready to pounce. Abel is the one to secure that round.
Yeah, great play. Playing the anti-flash in the corner was Abel, knowing that there was the Sage there, or sorry, not the Sage. There was the flash available to come around the corner. And looks like we do have another pause coming in here. As it seems like we're having some more issues here on the side of Wayne State, or excuse me, on the side of Sacramento State. Some more crashing issues. Try to get those resolved as quickly as we can. Psycho struggling a little bit with his computer this round, which is very unfortunate. Needs everything to be working at top priority, so he can make sure he helps his team out to victory. 1-2 here on the side of Wayne State. They're looking good so far, but this is a much more even start to a match than I think we've seen in the last couple of matches.
No steamrolls this time around. I'm glad to see it. I'm a bit sick of counting a team out early and them just hyping me up, getting my hopes up, all to be dashed at the very end. Well, it is exciting. I'd like to see some variance here. Maybe some close rounds, maybe some back and forth for each half. And I think Bind is the map to do that. I think it is much more attacker-sided than some of the other maps in the game because of those teleports and the quick rotations you can make in between the sites. But it's definitely not all attacker because you have so many different angles, so many different corners you can tuck in on the different sites. Plus, these Cypher tripwires, they're tricky. There's a lot of different angles that you can set up. Some weird ones around hookah, some ones just laying out in the middle of the site around elbow. And Cypher, if there's any agent in the game that could take advantage of those tripwire or of the B site weird angles, it's Cypher. He can just sit towards elbow, have some traps, cut them off, and wait for someone to walk across his tripwires. And so there's easy picks that you can set up with your utility on this map, if anything. But that's the difference between having the raise and having no raise. You can just throw those paint shells out to the back site. I know I say it time and time again. I know I drone on about this, but I truly do think that your eyes have to be locked on some of these raise players to really get some momentum going on the team and to get that chip damage out.
It's very useful to, especially not having a Sova as well to try to clear out the tripwires, can really kind of turn things around, get your team caught in really bad positions. Tristan, I want to point out something here that I just noticed. We're in map number 3, right? I'm looking at the overlay here, and I'm looking at the logos for the teams. Wayne State College, their mascot there, I'm pretty sure has the new HyperX Cloud 2 wireless headsets on. And I think that's what's turning things around for Wayne State is the fact that the mascot has the HyperX Cloud 2 wireless headset.
I like it. It's giving them that extra boost, and we see a bit of unfortunate technical difficulties causing a few technical pauses that we have to give over to the teams. We're all for fair play here, and we're all for competitive integrity, and so we don't want to let either team get a 5v4, and so it'll take just a bit longer to get every player back into the game and connected. That being said, though, we have a few players chatting on each team. They all want to just, they're just enjoying their time, as we are all here on the desk, and hopefully you guys are in the chat. I know we have people repping both team. Wildcats have their official Twitch channel in the chat. Hashtag claws out. I love to see the support here, and I hope these guys are doing you proud.
I do gotta say here, I gotta thank our observer Cool Scoots, because these are some really good observing angles here during the pause. He's been putting in a lot of work. As we do finally, looks like we're getting ourselves back into the game. Everybody's loaded up and situated, ready to go. Yeah, Abel looked to be a little bit frozen there, but just waiting and hesitating on that canister. I don't think that was the best grenade possible. Looking for the clusters to try to find any bit of damage, but it just didn't go out far enough. As there comes the satchel charge, and the showstopper's available for Zobi, but can he find any damage with it?
No one on the site. They all give him the space that he needs in order to unleash that rocket without picking up any kills in the second half of it. Now Zobi thinks better of pushing into CT, making himself picked off. Nas already popping that run it back.
Has to. He's at 29 HP. Did find a kill though. And now with the double curveball, trying to find any bit of information, but reload at the wrong time.
Zobi! He's gotten 3! How did he do that when he got headshot by the Classic? Dropped low by Nas. Nas should have been able to call out that he was waiting in the corner, but Zobi still stands tall on all 10 toes. He gets 3 heads and he rips him off the shoulders.
That was just... that was Nas finds some damage, but the last second reload costs him there. Couldn't take down Zobi, who said, all right, fine, I'm not dead. I'll make sure that you are. Takes down that triple kill, secures the round for Wayne State, and things are looking pretty good for Wayne State. Just a couple of missed plays here and there by Sacramento State in this match could be 3-1 in their favor. That's how close these rounds have been.
And you can kind of see so far that Abel isn't as comfortable on this raise as Zobi might be, because those paint shells, he doesn't really have the lineups there. He's not really sure as to where he wants to put those. Through the teleporter this time, they'll actually go just on the feet of Zobi, but he jumps away in the nick of time. The second activation of the paint shells definitely does more damage than the first, and so you get that extra bit of counterplay. And Zobi already getting out of dodge, but he's getting back into the crosshairs of Krolos, and Krolos is the first one to strike in the round, the first blood being shed, and it's on to the full buy member.
With that Killjoy ultimate placed out, they could have planted on B, but the teleports are going to come in. Everybody's going to hear them, and that means it's a quick rotation here. But Munoz finds one on the lurk, and that's going to be huge because that flank won't be able to come in. And now with the 4v3 on the site, just means it's going to be so much more difficult for Sacramento State to try to get the defuse in.
Yeah, I really don't like the play to teleport there, because if you have the second teleport though, Nas was waiting behind them, holds his nerve to get the first kill, a bit of chip damage on the second as his teammates start to arrive and start to flood in. Munoz, he's sitting on top of the box out in the open. This man wants a fight and he wants it now stuck in the corner, the rest of his team going back towards the A site, and so he sacrifices his life to open up space.
But that is exactly what Munoz wanted to do. Buy so much time. Sacramento State, they just looked desperate to find a kill there somehow. So they find the kill, but now they have to rotate back over to A, when WSC do have a pretty good angle here and a good way to hold on to the site. Flooding in, though, are the Hornets. They could turn this right back around. Now, they're absolutely going to. Viking, though, finds one, finds two, finds...
Ooh.
Oh, I thought he was about to find Abel as well as he lined up for that, but Abel's going to get the defuse, get that last kill, and secure a second round.
And man, that came down to the last man. Abel stands up for his teammates that had already fallen. As we see, and here's the thing, I mean, Munoz, while he did a great job of getting his team to plant, you're already down a member. You sacrificing your life without getting anything in return, it makes it a 4v2. And at that point, even though you have the superior weaponry, even though you're up against sheriffs for the most part, just having that man disadvantage can prove to be too much sometimes. And in that case, the Vandals couldn't pull through, the Phantoms could only spray down so much, and the Sheriffs, Zobi makes it sing at the very tail end there. Abel this time, though, he has his blast pack ready to go. He has the showstopper as well. We may see some fireworks early on in the round. He gets down short. No kills, but it is a lot of damage. Luckily, they do have a Skye, though. They can heal their teammates back up. Skye, she can't heal herself, though, and so she'll be on low HP for the rest of this round.
Yeah, that's going to be very, very sketchy, but it's okay as a Skye. You can just sit back, try to let your utility do the work. The Seekers are going to come out, but they'll get stopped up pretty quickly. The Wolf will come out to continue to find information. Does find... Abel actually finds Munoz, so Viking knows that there's going to be a couple of players here in lamps. Can't get the trade, though. Swings out into a 2v1.
And Sac State, once again, using that utility perfectly. But as I say that, though, Wayne State could have waited a little bit longer. That Wolf could have been able to clear out Hookah for Munoz, but Munoz gets antsy. He pulls the trigger too early, and he ends up giving up his own life. Now shortened down to a 2v2 as the teleports are coming through. Zobi sticks around, though.
Critical Raven rotated to B with the teleporter, didn't decide to actually get the plant down. And now in this 2v1, will get the plant, but doesn't have a great situation to set up. No econ, no utility. 13 seconds left on the turret to come back up. Gotta find a really good angle as the run it back is used to clear out this site and make sure that Critical won't be able to get the defuse coming in.
Did he get it to half? That's the question.
Oh,
Critical Raven
wow.
striking outside of CT. He now knows who the last player is. The hot hands will be able to flush him out into the open, though.
Yeah, has to move. Does not have time. He didn't get it halfway off of the run it back, but he'll have plenty of time here to secure it, even it up 3-3. Oh, this is a fantastic third map already.
And this is just what we wanted to see. A bit closer, a bit more exciting, and it comes down to the clutches. I love it. SAC State now fighting back. It's 3 apiece. And oh, what a round from Critical Raven. Nearly brings it home. And what awareness there from the side of SAC State to know that there is a still player lurking on A. Zobi had the opportunity to cut down the rotations before they could even come through, but they realized they only heard a single teleport, and so the second player must still be in the area if he hasn't already run away. And they sniff him out, they make it a 2v1, and they make good on it to bring home the round.
And now in a 3v3 feels 3-3 feels very, very good. They will be able to at least take down the trap wire just a little bit, but that is a nice paranoia to cause a lot of issues. The blind will come out to slow things down just a little bit. Yeah, Psycho has to fall away. That paint can could have done so much damage.
Woo! Psycho looking crispy. Already knocks Munoz's head off his shoulders with the most beautiful tippity taps I have seen in a while. Zobi now looking to get some vengeance for his teammate. Pushes up with the sheriff, but look at all the members they have on this site. I would not want to be the man that has to fight this with only a pistol.
This is going to be such a hard retake. Even without pistols, in a 4v5, you do have one on the flank but can teleport back over. Is able finds Zobi through the smoke, and that's gonna force Wayne State to fall off, but Nas is right there. Right there on the flank. Doesn't find the kills, though, and doesn't wait around. Might end up falling, but they're not going to be able to push in. With that kill, though, they could push onto the B site and try to get a planted.
Baby, that was so crucial. If he doesn't kill him there, Nas can just stop them from taking because he has that long unlock. But instead, they're able to get onto the site and get the bomb plant down at the very least. They may not bring home this round, but that's money in the bank.
Bike is down. Viking, no information left. Psycho, they're gonna flank it as a team, working well together, checking all their angles. One left standing inside the box, and he ends up falling to Trippy. 4th round to Sacramento State. Such a back and forth match today.
That retake's squeaky clean. I like how long Abel takes to walk out of teleporter there. He makes sure they can never feel comfortable. They constantly have to be looking towards that TP because he has the threat of just bursting out and taking down the players in hookah. And so they spend so much of their time watching that hookah play. A second player joins him. Psycho was able to rotate all the way around, help him out with the flank, and they just clean out U-Haul, or they clean out hookah, move their way onto the site, in a squeaky clean retake for Sacramento State.
It always feels good to have that kind of retake. Now you look at the economy outside of Nas, who is looking a bit rough here. The rest of the team for Sacramento State looking fantastic in terms of economy. They can afford to lose a round and still be able to buy up and help out buy Nas. But Wayne State, if they lose this round after this full buy that they've got, things are looking a little bit dire for them. And we could see Sacramento State start to swing this match heavily in their favor. Just Upper comes out, up and over. Oh, point blank.
No, it's a little hopeful there. He was hoping that the showstopper would walk right by him. Maybe he kills the follow-up as his teammates try and jump out of hookah, but he doubles back. He realizes that something may be afoot there, as he couldn't find any players on site.
Also finds Viking, and there's the Cypher ult to come in. Try to find the information for Zobi. Oh, gets killed by the boom by Abel. Now finds 3.
Abel's going crazy right now. The last player tries to hop out of hookah. Abel's got him covered. He's even got the paint shells in there with him. The underhand toss lets him go with an easy pickup. 5-3 now. Sac State finding their momentum a little bit more.
Yeah, and now again, looking at the economy, Zobi did pick up a few kills, so will be able to buy up himself and probably help out a teammate if possible. Nas will be bought up by Abel there. They're sitting and looking pretty. A little bit more of an economy from Wayne State than I honestly expected, thanks to picking up some kills left and right, but this is going to be the round here. Outside of Zobi, if they don't win here, they don't find a lot of kills as well. These are looking a little bit tough, a little bit dire. They lose any kind of guns here, it's gonna be a disaster.
And heavy Cypher utility committed towards Hookah, as there is a camera behind everyone. They don't see it just yet, but Munoz, with that, he finally drops the camera with a single shot, shatters that, and they have a lot of pressure now onto the site, as most of the players not really around, as Showstopper is being popped outside of the teleporter. Not going to find much at all, but they're all flooding into the site, and this could be a rotation out if they get too aggressive.
With the lockdown in place, going to stall out the defense. They did get the plant in quite in time, so they will be able to retake fairly quickly. The Munoz will open up onto Nas 4v4 so far. Tried to steal a little bit more sight. Work away in, but there's a Paranoia to do just the same.
Oh, and a little double take there from the drone as you see he realizes someone is in the corner there. They see the little highlight of the player, and now they're just pushing through the smoke. They want to get this defuse down. Krolos, he's going to try and do it all for his teammates.
Yeah, he's trying to do something. Has the classic out, decided not to reload. The spike gets defused. Critical Raven will pick up that kill, but the nice delay from Krolos means that Sacramento State picked up yet another round, and now the snowball is rolling. Things looked very even through the first 4 rounds, but now that Sacramento State have the credit advantage and can continue to play through and use this momentum, Wayne State are looking a little bit rough. They should be able to partially buy if they really want to. Is Critical Raven, yeah, it's just gonna sit with that rifle, try to play the hero in this round and see if you can't pick off a kill or two, get some guns out of the hands of Sacramento State and maybe take them for yourself.
As we see the drone coming out, it doesn't actually end up spotting Omen. The Paranoia does though, and so they realize that he could be playing towards this area, and they decide to back off as a result. As we see already Hookah or U-Haul control being established, that's going to be sent. They're sending the Wolf all the way through just to make sure there are no lurkers able to get the first. He's looking for 2 inside of U-Haul as he's been playing around with.
Oh, that does not feel good. These point blank shots from the Sheriffs are starting to work out, and this is what Wayne State needed. They needed to take some guns out of the hands of Sacramento State. Nas, though, through the wall finds that kill.
They decide to get out of Dodge. They want no part in this Phoenix. They decide, let's just take the teleporter, but they have a single player here. Krolos stuck around for so long, knowing this could always be an option. He's got the first for himself and activates the trap to get around the corner, and now suddenly they have a losing bid on their hand as Viking, he's on low HP, and Krolos just waits for his trap to deactivate. He knows his agent inside and out, knew when that trap would be despawning, and now Munoz wants to hunt him down, but with 25 seconds left, he needs to get back onto the bomb eventually.
What a beautiful play from Krolos. Last round, delaying for the defuse. This round, stopping the plant and stopping anybody from getting back to the spike. Like you said, knowing the agent inside and out, knowing the timings of when that cage is going to drop, knowing where to place his camera, because that was also pretty crucial. Yes, he knew that Munoz had teleported over with the sound cue, but being able to land that tracking dart from the camera was instrumental in being able to save that round. Well done from Krolos.
And I love that he stuck around for that long. I love that he knew how often that Wayne State likes to take those teleporters through, and so he reads them like a book. He calls their bluff, says, no, you are not planting A. I still know you're coming back here, and the sweet sound of those teleporters ringing off when you have that advanced position. Ooh, he makes a fantastic meal of it. Destroys everyone as able. Look at the paint shells down. Jump peeks onto Munoz, who gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar a little bit there. Doesn't lose too much HP as a result, but has to give up the position nonetheless.
You say that, and then he immediately walks right back in the smoke, using that Omen smoke to just be able to waltz right back into a position. The jump peek, though, is effective. at least understanding and knowing that Munoz is probably still there. Slow rotations from Wayne State back over towards A short. And Sacramento State, I don't think are expecting this. Yeah, they're definitely not expecting this. The trackers are going to go out. They hear all of the utility, and they're going to start to rotate over, but Munoz has a great advanced position here in Lamps.
Oh, look how far forward he is. There's no way they expect this, especially to the Sova, who's using his ultimate right outside of his vision. Munoz says, this is the freest kill of my life. Thank you for the pickup. He gets a coupon for a completely free meal outside of CT. And now in a 4v5, they've got their work cut out for them for this retake.
Still shots being fired back and forth. The sight into the floor, but blinded up and just gets caught. But Viking is right there to get the trade. That's what Wayne State needed. And now it's all up to Abel in a 4v1. This is not the position you wanted to find yourself in. Viking picks up a triple, and Wayne State back on the board.
The anti-flash proves to be fruitful there, as one player may be blind, Munoz may be stuck in the corner, but Viking is there to help his teammate out, and his death does not go in vain. Both players get caught with their head turned, and Viking, he lines him up, takes him down, makes the hold possible, and it looks like they're able to pull through, and denies 5 in a row for Sac State. That would have been their 5th round, just steamrolling through, but finally, it's Wayne State University that puts their foot down, says no more, and we're not going to let you run away with this.
Yeah, but they picked up that round 1 round too late, I'd say. Sacramento State able to full buy back into this round. Wayne State would have liked to have picked up the round there, the round before, to force Sacramento State on the back foot in terms of economy. And Psycho just outduels Munoz, and that's huge. You take out the the entry fragger for Wayne State. You take out a lot of the pick potential and opportunity. Zobi is going to get chunked by that paint can.
That paint can was painful. He gets caught in the corner, tried to blast pack over the wall, but he face palms into it, face plants, and I face palm watching it. And then as a result, I mean, he loses most of his HP, but luckily for him, this is the power of the sky pick. Look at his HP. He's back to full. He's fine. A Sage wouldn't have been able to do that because she can't heal to full HP. And so that's just another reason that I think Sky is so underrated on maps like these where you can take a lot of chip damage.
That was one of the worries when one of the first agents released was a pure healer. Was that how are these healing type of agents going to play out? And Sky, I think, is a good answer. You can't really heal yourself, but you can heal your teammates around you to try to balance things out a little bit.
I'm gonna take an out.
And it'll be interesting to see because that damage onto Sky will eventually stick once it gets hit. 13 seconds left on the clock though. Krolos finds Zobi.
10 seconds left.
10 seconds left. Wants to try to angle around. Should be able to stop the plant, but can't, as Viking will pick him up.
And in a 2v4, this should still be favored towards one side and one side only. Sac State, they quickly get back onto the site. They don't give them any room to breathe, any chances to set up utility. They just storm the castle, and they take the head off of the king to end this half 8-4.
Yeah, Psycho, I think, trying to do the technically right play and give over the defuse to somebody else. However, it was the end of the half, so the ultimate point does not matter. And yeah, look at the scoreboard. Abel, Krolos, and Nas holding down the fort for Sacramento State. Double-digit kills already going into the second half. Zobi has matched them with 12 kills, but the rest of Wayne State are lagging behind just a little bit. And I think that's where the difference lies, is that the rest of Wayne State just aren't hitting necessarily all the shots that they need to at the right moments in time.
And crazy enough, 8-4 in this best of 3 is the closest half we've had. I believe game 1 actually was no, it wasn't closer. I think they were down even more heavily, and so I'm surprised to see this being our closest map so far, reaching this halfway point. But I would like to see it go the distance, and so pistol round will be the first step in that for Wayne State University. As Abel, he's gonna try and get into hookah, but there's already flooding utility through the teleporters, trying to make this play as hard as possible. At 15 HP, they've done their job.
Yeah, Nas can heal up a little bit, and that paint can, I like the idea, but just a little bit panicked and trying to not get hit in the crossfire running around, so did not get the can all the way back to CT as you would have liked to have had that done. Now that being said, they are continuing to push in, and this is where Krolos is going to end up playing most of this half on the offensive side. Is looking to play these flanks and try to get information across the map, and try to see if you can't draw out utility, draw out the information, and stay alive as much as possible. Cypher can play fairly safe and be fairly safe if you can use your cages effectively. BB is going to get taken down by Trippy with that alt fire, picking up the frenzy as well. This is going to be a pretty big swing here. If Krolos does get the information, knowing that they're going through hookah.
They do have the slow demand advantage, so Krolos should be able to clean up a few here. They have their back turned, some jumping shots to chunk Viking low. It's a 1v3, and he can't move around. He can't maneuver himself to a better spot because they have him covered. They got the firing squad on the other end. Beautifully done and beautifully cleaned up. And finally, Sac State. They're showing strength on both halves. They are winning the pistol here. Maybe I shouldn't call it too prematurely as to showing strength, but hey, that's a lot better than what the winning side has been doing on the pistol round of their second half.
Yeah, that is these pistol rounds have been very, very volatile, and the second rounds have been volatile as well. And this is a gutsy play coming in from Wayne State, and I absolutely love it. They know that their backs are against the wall. They know that they need some rounds. You can't necessarily afford to give this up. They've bought Spectres and bought shielding up. They really want to try to take this round. If they can do so, you put such a big halt on the Sacramento State momentum. But at the same time, you lose. Your momentum is completely stifled. And Abel with the judge says, I am judge, jury, and executioner. You're not going to win this round.
The judge says guilty of force buying round 2, and he makes their sentence a costly one. BB is able to trade back a single kill to make the numbers even, but not all 3v3s are created equally. As Viking, he'll make these numbers back into their favor. Around the box, he wants to peek with the judge, already with 3K. Fought back by BB, now in a 1v2. iPsycho has the last two to find, but now he puts himself in the advantage. Omen v Omen, the fake teleport, trying to get him on the site, but he plays around the smoke perfectly, and iPsycho goes ballistic to secure the round, make it 10.
Beautiful. That was basically a one-way smoke, and he played that about perfectly. Psycho did a great job of walking around, knew that BB was going to be low anyway, being chipped down. That was just a great job of playing around the smoke, playing around the utility. Now, the problem is, yes, Sacramento State won, but they lost a lot in the process. They're not going to be able to buy up nearly as effectively had they were all able to stay alive. And it's a minor victory for Wayne State because you could probably pick off a couple of these players with these sheriffs. As these stingers, not going to be great at the long range, nearly as good as the Spectres are. So it's going to be a very up close and personal round.
Oh, but this is going to be so difficult to get past. Abel has a judge, and he's sitting in the smoke. As I say that, though, he gets a bit antsy, hops out. Happens to be good for one, but Viking makes sure that he doesn't get away with such crimes unscathed.
And Nostro did get the trade, fakes the plant, waits for the team, and they do have the advantage right around, but
Spike down.
That was brutal. Critical Raven finds that kill onto Nas. Does not have another swarm grenade, I believe. And they could look to teleport. They absolutely do, going straight over to the B site. They'll get this plant with ease, and they'll be able to get themselves in a very good post-plant position.
And Phoenix says, wait a second, this molly hurts me. I thought they're supposed to heal me. Burns down from that, and as we see a quick pickup as the players rotate over, it actually ends up being a 2v3, and with Krolos at 15 HP, this peak has to be one where he secures a few kills. Instead, it's just the hunters to come out, distract him for long enough. BB will get the first with the sheriff, and now in a 2v1, this may be a bit too tall of a task to ask for, and Viking already ready and waiting.
Try to play the close angle. Maybe could have swung out a bit wider, bit more to his right, and might have been able to avoid that narrow angle that was being held there by Viking, but could not do it. And that is where the economic damage from that force buy came into play. Sacramento State just were not able to fully buy up as they would have been able to otherwise, and it kind of cost them. And now, we still see the a somewhat standard scoreline coming in, pistol round, bonus round coming in, then maybe the third round picked up by the other team. But now both teams able to basically fully buy up. Judges on both sides, though, And Abel does have the Sheriff to try to look for those long-range plays.
He also has a bazooka in the back pocket with the showstopper available. And so with these double blast packs in hand, does he commit that ultimate to this round to really try and open up a site, maybe get himself an early kill? He does have just the shotgun for now, so he may just try and use that to get some of the longer range players. As Nas, quick flick to pick up the first, but that information has been gained in Munoz. He knows there's a player oh so close around the corner. Both of these players have to have their heads on a swivel. They don't want to eat a blind either way.
Yeah, and I like this play. Back off of bathrooms. You know that somebody knows that you're there. The information was given to Wayne State. You cannot continue to push in. Krolos will find Zobi. Top fragger down. That could mean that they can open things up a little bit more, as there goes the... Here comes the ultimates onto the A site. They're looking to take this with force.
And a bit of anti-synergy there. The Blaze Wall will go up, blocks the showstopper for the most part, but either way, they will get the job done. They will get what they came for, and that's the bomb plan. Now with 3 players left up towards heaven, they are staring down the barrel of a loaded gun on the side of Wayne University, and SAC State is foaming at the mouth for an 11th round.
Mine came in on the Krolos, but he's in a good position as Nas just finds Viking walking out into the open. Just brazenly walking out, and now I think the call needs to be save. And yeah, it looks like Wayne State they're gonna back off, save the weapons that they can, because they need every little bit. Knowing that you are 3 at this point, if once you lose this round, you are 2 rounds away from being knocked out of playoffs. Need to save up every little bit you can to try to find any advantages at all.
And yeah, I mean, the sweat starting to pour there for the side of Wayne University. It's a tough call, especially when it's the 11th round. That doesn't give you a very good feeling in the pit of your stomach. You know you're so close to elimination when you've come so close to the finals. And this is where the pressure, this is where the backs are against the wall. But this is where a team can make themselves. They can immortalize themselves with the great comebacks. As we see a few stars being crafted on the wall for Trippy there. He's having fun. He's having a good time knowing that his team is so far ahead. And they want to make sure that this doesn't end up like the other games. Comebacks and get mounted. They want to stomp out the flame, and they want to do it in dominant fashion.
And they should be able to do so. And it's definitely a feel good to know that you've got such an advantage and things are going pretty well your way, that you can feel good and know that, you know, even if you give up a round, you'll still be able to get yourself back into it and not have to worry. Now, there is a pretty big flank coming in onto the B site, and the Sova is lurking at A, as BB will find Krolos. That's a huge opening. They know that there's at least one there in hookah, and immediately, yeah, gets shut down. Nas falls as well. Things are not looking good here for Sacramento State in this round. Wayne State on the comeback.
Player standing.
Oh, and critical Raven moves around the corner while Trippy is blindsided, looking away, wanted to clear out U-Haul, was worried about all different kinds of angles when the real enemy was right in front of him. Now iPsycho, he's trying to save this weapon, but he has got 35 seconds still left on the clock, and that is a lot of time for Wayne State University to hunt him down if they so choose. That being said, though, Wayne State's economy isn't looking the strongest right now, and so they may just try and relax for a little bit, take their weapons into the next round, and prevent any possible plants here. And so this is going to bullshit their economy. I mean, the fact this round, if they were to lose it, especially in convincing fashion, you know, lose all 5 of their members, they wouldn't be able to buy up, and the game might as well have been over. And so when their backs are against the wall, they buy themselves that bit more time.
Double smokes coming out just to secure this round. Nobody's going to go chasing. Nobody's going to check teleporters. And that is absolutely fine for Wayne State. Like you said, with the economy not looking at their best, being able to at least keep the guns that they have on hand, being able to continue to stock up their economy will feel pretty good. Now, on the flip side, looks like Sacramento State will be able to buy up for the most part. Krolos might have a bit of an issue. Does not, it looks like, but we'll be stuck at 300 creds after the buy. So things are looking a little bit sketchy now. If they lose this round, this is a very, very rough place for Sacramento State. Not where you want to find yourself in. They need to find some kills. They need to find some picks. They need to find a round war stat map point.
And Wayne State, this round is going to be important, not only because it's 11-6, but because they're on the verge of a potential bonus round. And that would do great for their spirits. It would do great for them to get back within contention range. And it just feels a lot better overall to be that much closer. You feel like you have less pressure. You feel like your momentum is riding at an all-time high. And I do believe that's a part of why Sac State was able to piece together 4 rounds in a row in the last half, because they had that momentum shifting in their favor. And it feels weird to go from like light buys from pistols back to rifles. If you get to play on rifles every round, you just feel more consistent. You feel like your shots are a little bit more crisp. And as I say that, Trippy, he's gonna get some damage down. You can't hide in the tube, not against a Sova with this many angles available to him.
Staying on rifles, I mean, obviously feels good. You get used to how the gun plays out. You get used to the sprays, to the control. You don't have to worry about consistently trying to click fire. You can just hold it down and let the spray do the
30
work.
seconds left.
So you want to keep those guns as much as you can. Sacramento State taking their time in this one, and now it looks like they will finally start to push in. The smoke does come in to at least stop them for the moment, but it's gonna be enough for them to get onto the site after that opening pick. Now it's a matter of Wayne State trying to retake from this CT position.
And in this 4v5, B site is one of the hardest to retake when you're all coming from CT. You don't have any flankers this time around, and so it has to come to the fights. And Krolos, with that flank, he could have gotten so much. Doesn't make it happen, unfortunately. He pulls the trigger just slightly too early, and Zobi, he's got one backstab for himself. Triples up on the round. He wants to secure this for his team, and Wayne State has a convincing retake. They made it look easy.
Yeah, it was all in the back of stopping the flank from coming in, and by that point, the information is gathered, and they can just walk right in onto the site and land their shots. You were talking about it before this map, that this map really comes down to gunplay. How well can you shoot? How well can you hit your shots? And at that point, both Zobi and BBO1 hitting the shots that they need to. And look at the spread in kills. 3 players from both teams with double-digit kills, spread very closely. They're really working together, getting the opening frags, getting the picks that they need. And it's interesting to see that Munoz is actually not at the top of that list after the first couple of rounds that he's had. That is going to be a very good stalling tank grenade. Oh, waits on it, but finally does pick up the kill onto Abel.
And Zobi using a bazooka in close quarters combat. We'll have a Sky there to heal him back up once they decide to activate the retake. But meanwhile, we have Krolos in bathrooms. He evens up the numbers, only on 30 HP, though he did take a fair bit of punishment for his kill, but he recovers the Phantom, and that's important because not only does it deny credits from the opposite side, but you can toss that over to a teammate, use it yourself. Either way, your chances of killing improve significantly once you grab some guns for yourself.
Gun shuffle came in, trying to throw some things around. Viking trying to get the angle onto Nas. Gonna be able to avoid the blind, but it doesn't matter.
Last player standing.
Oh no! While he had the Hunter's Fury out, he gets mowed down. They just pushed through the smoke, and Kolo couldn't find him. He's gonna try and loop back around. Does get the planter, but they have so much time still, and this is going to be a defusal, no doubt in my mind.
Well done. The defusal comes in 8-11. Things looking very, very good. To try to turn things back around here for Wayne State, they are really starting to make this comeback, and Sacramento State continue to try to force buy into some of these rounds. I know they're trying to stabilize the economy or make it a little bit easier to buy up in the next round or have an even steady credit margin. But you also got to realize that sometimes you could just carry those credits over and make things a little bit easier in the future instead of trying to continue to force buy, as we do have another tactical pause coming in, most likely from Sacramento State, to try to stall and try to stop the bleeding, as they are really, really hurting in these last few rounds.
And yet again, it's time for the comeback to be mounted. This time on 11 rounds. Hey, at least it's not 12. At least you can lose a single round. You wouldn't want to, though, as you don't want to bring this game into overtime. You want to push it all the way to 13 if you're Wayne State. But man, oh man, are they starting to really find their groove with each other. They're starting to find their coordination a little bit better, as well as these site takes are looking more and more confident. Yes, they get slowed down by the paint shells every now and then from Able, but they regroup, they go back to their sites, they go back to their original default positions, and then where they find their ease of access, they just punch it through. And so far, it's been working wonders for them. And I know why they call that tack pause. I mean, Sac State, they're starting to get worried now on their end because they've lost so many in a row. And like last map, like all the maps so far this game, it's very easy to let your lead slip away if you're not careful. And so Sac State wants to tighten their strategy up here. We may see some better utility usage out of this round because they were able to give each other that talking to and have more time to deliberate their strategy heading into this round.
Yeah, and that's going to be key. Can the in-game leaders kind of stabilize their teams, get them steady, make sure that they don't either tilt one way or the other to try to stay ahead? And can coming out just to try to check those angles there in hookah, not knowing if someone wants to jump up very early on. They very could have, but this time around, Wayne State, they're just playing a little bit of a softer defense on that B side, letting the Killjoy utility do the work for them so that they can pick off the stragglers, pick off the weak members as they get chunked out, taken down.
Bathroom has a fair bit of pressure. They allow them some space to work with so that they walk into the 3-man stack. But as I say that, Munoz, don't psych yourself out, buddy. Stick around. You're going to want to be here for this. As we see the run it back being popped. There's a dart into the wall. We'll spot out Zoe, but wins out on the deal. Looks for even more. Trippy punishes him for that, but he takes a lot of damage doing so. Nas chimes in with one of his own, and now with the man advantage and the HP advantage, Sac State, they'll get another for themselves. Look at the shock darts denying every access point.
Oh, and Trippy almost could have got picked off. 11 HP. Viking finally finds him through the boxes. It's a default spike plant and a good wall to come up to continue to stall out for time. They do have some good angles here on the backside through A short, but Viking has a decent cover angle. The blind will try to come out to see if he can't buy any time. Lands the shots on a Krolos, but can't land the shot on a Psycho. One left standing for Sac State to go to match point.
Oh, and Sac State closes it out with Ice Psycho picking off Critical Raven. He took a bit too long to get onto site, and so he really didn't have a lot of options when it came to trying to defuse that bomb. He eventually just gets picked up by the backpedaling player as he tries to reach towards that teleport. And 12 rounds for Sac State. That tactical pause, that is exactly why you call a tactical pause. Not only do you reset your team, you motivate them yet again. You work on your strategies. They had the read. They get 3 members onto the A site just in time before they get to hit through, and despite the best efforts of all the members waiting for them, they just get through yet again. And Sac State, they're looking confident to end this series right here, right now. Munoz,
yeah. Oh,
beautiful.
I was gonna say Wayne State, though, are in a good position to at least continue to try to get the momentum back on their side. 4 ultimates available, operator available as well. They really want this round, and they absolutely can take it. Nas just gonna pick up the orb, try to get himself some points, and see if he can't draw out a little bit more information using that audio cue. With the operator being in play, now Sacramento State know they need to slow things down. They know it's on the A site, so they should be looking towards this B site, but it's going to be stacked with more players because of the firepower of the operator. It's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't at this point for Sacramento State. Where do they go? Do they run into the operator? Do they run into the 3 stack on B?
And maybe with this blind, they can try and force the operator off the angle. They will see the first at least.
Oh, it does. It does actually force the operator out of heaven. That could have been the play, but then they decide left. No, they're going to go ahead and try to go back to B, but the teleport to A. 30 seconds left. They need to make a play happen right now.
They're breaking my ankles at this point with all these rotations coming through. The Paranoia are going to try and stall them for just a little bit longer.
Down. Operator down.
Makes his way through the smoke. Operator down and BB down as well. Nas is running through the site. 10 seconds left. They will have to get the plant down. A Killjoy ultimate is waiting for them, and so they will need to retreat as soon as they have this bomb plant. But it looks like they've got plenty of space to go. And Abel, he'll take down Critical Raven as he tries to make his grand entrance through heaven. They do have a few players locked up. Viking doubles up, makes it a 2v2.
And that there's some crucial picks and crucial plays made. Now the rocket looks like it's gonna come out from Abel. He's waiting to see if he can push anyone off the defuse, and he does, and he lands the shot. Paint grenade coming in as well. This could be the match. This could be tournament. Zobi left alive.
15 HP.
Yes! Krolos ends it with the headshot to send Sacramento State to the grand final.
What a series, and what a final round. That final round represents this series perfectly. They don't give an inch. Each team swinging for the fences. We saw trade frags. One team going up 3 members at one point, traded down by Viking, who gets it back into a winnable position. My goodness, this series was fantastic to watch, fantastic to cast through and through. There was no map that looked to be too easily taken.
It was down to the nitty gritty every single time. Sacramento State, though, they're able to clutch out the victory and kind of and turn that back around. Remember, Sacramento State lost to Wayne State 2-1 previously. So the fact that they're able to turn it right back around is so massive for them, to be able to have that momentum now going into the grand finals. And it looks like there might have been a little bit of a reschedule on the other other semifinals, so they could at least sit and try to maybe get some tape on their potential competitors next week in the grand finals.
Yeah, that's going to be so valuable to have. And so that's one of the benefits of taking a round home early, especially when VODs are obviously going to be saved on both ends. And so they're going to have so much time to review the tape, make sure they come in nice and prepared, counter strats galore for the grand finals. Now, that being said, I do have word that we will be having a winner's view after a short advertisement break. So with that, this has been Tristan and Joker. We will be back soon, and don't go anywhere because we'll get a peek into the mind of one of the winning team members. Be right back.
Story.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch it! What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch it! What sound experience would you like?
Welcome back, guys, gals, non-binary pals here. Congratulations once again. Moving on is going to be Sacramento State University, and we've got one of the players here with us for the post-game interview. We're going to bring in Abel Tsai here, one of the leading players here of Sacramento State. Abel, thank you for joining us. First off, again, congratulations on the hard-fought victory. Congratulations to moving on to the grand finals.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for having me on.
So first up, we got to talk about that. I gotta ask this. Knowing that you fell to Wayne State 2-1 in the regular season, how good does it feel? Two-part question. How good does it feel to know that you've picked up the victory here against Wayne State in the semifinals, in the playoffs? And what was your team's mental and preparation going into the match, knowing that you fell to them previously?
Man, like, I remember we lost in a 2-1, and last map was Haven, like 13-6, something like that. So we were coming in with a vengeance. We really wanted to basically just decimate them this time. We came in new and improved, and it just felt really good to get that last win on Binds.
What was the mindset going into Haven, knowing that you picked attack on Haven, which is, you know, a fairly attacker-sided map, I think is the consistent point, and you were losing round after round, knowing that they're picking up the defensive side, you're flipping to defense, and it's going to be a lot tougher. What was the mindset there in that match? How did you come back? No, at least try to make that comeback there in the second half.
The first half was pretty rough, not gonna lie. We're just doing our defaults, just trying to break them down, and when that wasn't working, we picked up a few rounds, maybe 2 or 3, kind of changing it up. And we knew that once we get CT side, we're solid. They can't beat us on CT side. Unfortunately, they just got too many rounds the first half, so we lost that.
Tristan?
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I did also want to ask you was, what were the comms looking like? Because I have to assume after such a grueling series, it went the distance nearly every game. Game 3, you guys nearly pull it out. Suddenly, Wayne State starts to come back. That has to weigh on you. What were the comms looking like after that final round was pulled out of the bag?
Man, I had to yell at Mark, iPsycho. I had to yell at him, get him in shape. You know, I admit I got a little tilted while we were losing those rounds in the later half of that game, but we really brought it back. He got that 3 or 4K, and it was just hyped from there. We knew we could take it once he got that. He really brought it back.
Yeah, absolutely. And there were some crucial clutch rounds that you guys really put your foot down and said, no more comebacks this series. Not for anyone. It's been happening way too often. And one thing I just also want to touch on was I noticed you were going absolutely bonkers in that first map with the jet operator setup. And then it didn't really come out later on in the series. Is that just a pick that you like to use on some of the more spacey maps like the Havens or like the Ascents, like the Icebox, rather than a bit more of those, quick pace fragging maps?
I definitely like bringing out the op on Ascent on defense side, but when we need my jet to just go in and kind of just clear everything out with that dash, I have to switch to a rifle. I throw the op back into Naz's hands because he's just a way better operator. You guys think I'm good? You guys should see him op.
Yeah, we did see him op on the scent when you guys
Super
really
good.
started pulling ahead. You guys were fantastic using the ops for those constant early game picks, and that put all constant rounds at 4v5s. And from there, you guys did a good job at closing things out. Now, we did also kind of touch on this. You said that you were getting a bit tilted after starting to lose some of those rounds on map 3. But how did you feel heading into that map 3, knowing that you were so close to bringing it back on Haven? Did anyone have to bring up your moods? Was there a specific leader that stepped up to the plate to ensure that you guys weren't giving up too soon?
We've learned throughout the season that we're just a really solid defense team. Like, we just need to get those attack side rounds, and everybody just knows that we just need to lighten up the mood, joke around, mental reset once we get into that map, because we're a really good team. Not trying to sound super cocky or anything, but I have full confidence in my teammates. They have my back, I have theirs, and we're just going in, fragging out.
Yeah, I
You
think
have
with
every
your play,
reason to be.
yeah, I was gonna say, I think with your play today, especially on the decider, you guys definitely have the right to say that you're very good teams to play against. Now, here's the big question: knowing the other half of the bracket is SUNY Poly and RPI, who do you think is going to come out on top of that, and who do you want to actually face?
It doesn't matter who we face. We'll come out and win.
I love the confidence. Feeling good is Abel and the rest of Sacramento State. Abel, is there anything else that you want to say? Anything you want to shout out here before we close out tonight?
Definitely. I want to shout out the Esports Club, Sac State Esports Club. They've really given us the resources to play at the level that we're playing at. Shout outs to my teammate, Eli, Jamal, Jeff, and Mark. Unfortunately, also Rick Dad is up there. He's our coach now. And shout out to HyperX Cloud 2 wireless headphones. You know how to game.
Good stuff. Thanks for joining us again, Abel. Congratulations. And we'll see you next week at the grand finals.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, that is going to be it for us here for the end of the night. Once again, congratulations to Sacramento State. Commiserations to Wayne State. They put up one hell of a fight, and I know it's not going to be the end of them. We still got plenty of Valorant to play here at ECAC. But that is going to be it for us tonight for Valorant. Don't forget, tomorrow night at 8 p.m., it's the Overwatch finals. Johnson and Wales University Blue taking on Illinois Wesleyan. Going to be a very, very good match that will start again at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's the semifinals here. And next week, 8 p.m. on Tuesday night, the 27th, we're going to see Abel and the rest of Sacramento State taking on, again, the winners of SUNY Poly and RPI. Going to be a blast of a series. And we're definitely going to want to see you there. But for everybody here at production for ECAC tonight, we've got myself, Joker, Tristan over here, also Coltoon, Cool Scoots, and even K-Tad coming in to help out. Thank you all so much. Thanks to everybody for supporting ECAC. We'll see you tomorrow for Overwatch. We'll see you next week for more Valorant at the Grand Finals.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
watch ahead.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch ahead.